Friday.
Alrighty, we are live.
We're live.
Bonus TARDIS viewers.
Alrighty, hello there and welcome to Team Bonus Action. This is going to be Tears of Kairos, Seeking Shards and Searching Strixhaven, Parte 2. We are currently missing a certain Leonin fighter.
He is replaced by a sleeping puppy.
He is replaced by the cutest hot dog on the face of the planet. We're going to do a quick run around the table. I am Neysa does cosplay. I am the DM, the creator of worlds and gods and all sorts of shenanigans. And who do we have here?
I am Ninja Spence 21. I will be playing Zhonya Embersong, the Fire Genasi Chronologist / Time Wizard, that who was apparently a professor for quandaries.
I am Tal'gor the Terrible, the lizard folk barbarian.
Arten Dawnwatcher, Leonin champion fighter,
Currently invisible.
is busy.
He's just sleeping.
So we have a replacement, the distinguished elder gentleman. And then I am Miro or Hewitt, because whatever. I try to have an online name, but it never fucking works. I will be playing Fil'verl Ettin, the astral elf Sorlock.
Alright. We will do a quickly recap, as minimal as we can manage, because we're running late. Y'all are in Strixhaven as undercover. You have a front as ambassadors from Zrael, so that you may attempt to hunt unencumbered for one of the shards of Kairos' heart. When Arten posted his sheets and notes, did he put where the did it include where the two shard
I can move.
logs had been before?
They were over. If someone will hand me a...
Stand by. Getting up.
I'm trying to figure out which way I can turn so I don't end up showing my booty to the internet.
I believe
Fling your left leg up on the desk. Kick it up high.
No, different.
One was roughly about halfway, and then it was about...
Were they...
5...
Okay, but...
hold on.
Wither Bloom's down there now.
Yeah.
Oh.
I put it where y'all can read it a little better.
Yeah, it was about that way.
Alright.
It was about halfway, and then it was one...
They have a Jack Sparrow-esque compass that
I'll be bingy.
that will allow them to essentially allow Arten to check as you're
We got
going.
another follow!
Oh, thank you so much, Supreme Y Dang. Danak.
Many donkas for all of this beautiful followage. It is much to be appreciated. We are multilingual in this house.
Did it actually pop up on the screen when it did the
I don't think it did. I didn't see it. But continue, DM.
Yeah, so y'all have, y'all did split up after securing lodging for a few nights. Y'all split up, and Zhonya and Tal'gor went to Quandrix after y'all's meeting with Shale Talonrook, the current Dean of Radiance for Silverquill College, who was y'all's contact, given information to you from that.
They're talking. Sorry, keep going.
And the Arten and Phil had gone out to Lorehold to follow up on the knowledge that Shale had given to y'all when y'all met with her, that a shard, a piece of black rock similar to what y'all are looking for, had been found by a certain stone giant named Osgir in the Lorehold College. Osgir essentially is known for creating perfect copies of magical artifacts, including all of their properties, their magical properties, and he could not copy this shard. And so Arten and Phil had gone over to Lorehold if y'all would like to move them over there, so we're keeping track of who's where. Y'all's companion Erebos had stayed at y'all's house, at your lodgings, for no real reason given, and we're not going to get into all of that because that's an Arten and Erebos thing. While in Lorehold, throwing my pens, while in Lorehold, Arten had a bit of fangirl notice me senpai moments because one of the spirit mascot statues was of a Johnny Whitemane, a idol of Arten's from his childhood. Jed had messaged me that he had some other questions and some like RP that he wanted to have with a Johnny. We'll have to kind of flashback that in next week.
Okay.
The whole time, Phil. It's a statue.
It is.
It's legitimately a statue. Okay.
Have Phil roll Arcana for me.
That's gonna go good. Hey, dirty 20. Shit, I was expecting to roll low.
Even as you're like, it's just a statue, you're realizing there's maybe more to it than just that. There is some magic flowing through there, and it definitely feels like some form of, like, white necromancy. It's not just a statue, it's a statue with a piece of a Johnny's spirit. So it is actually a Johnny.
Gotta put my hand. Alright. Can you teach me how to do that? That's super dope. Just put my hand on the...
We've got bigger fish to fry, but eventually.
Alright, also while I got your attention, what do I need to get here for you? Because right now I know I got like 2 jobs. Like I got the one I got for you that I have to always work on. And now we gotta stop God.
There's a very quiet pause before she says, "There's nothing they have here that I need or want."
Like I'm not joking. I'll seriously steal anything from here for you.
No. It's all dirty. It's all dusty.
All right. Takes a hand off the lantern. Next thought. Thank God I don't gotta steal from the fucking wizards.
I rolled and it was low, so not this time. All right. Brain words. Zhonya and Tal'gor. Y'all had gone to talk to Dean Kian, who is rather to the side of eccentric. But being as you're getting your memories back, and you were a professor of theory, not of substance. Substance is Kian's purview. But the office for Dean Ibrahim, the Dean of Theory, the door was open and he wasn't in there, and there were just papers and chalkboards chock full of stuff just kind of scattered all over the place. And Dean Kian had indicated that he should be in class at the moment.
Yes.
And there were some directions given. I didn't write them down, but for ease of access, you're getting enough of your memories back that you'll be able to follow those directions. So if y'all would like, we can pick up right there.
Yeah, but that's fine.
And just jump straight back in.
Well, Tal'gor, down that this hallway is just where that basically experiments and stuff are happened. But I guess I remember that one time that some Quandric students, they had basically tried to make a space-time continuum out of this thing called, it was some material, I think it was called silicon or something, and then they had a feral duck, and they tried to combine both of them.
Oh, okay. They wanted a time duck?
I think so, but then they had also wanted to just make it go squish and quack. So I don't know what exactly that they were trying to do.
That sounds awful.
Yeah, but apparently then that they said that it will just join them in the shower and the bath. I don't know what they meant by that.
Oh, it was a ducky to keep him company.
Yeah, but
Quack,
wouldn't
I'm
it?
taking a
But
bath.
wouldn't that be awakened? That you would.
I don't know what that means.
That's basically you are giving it a body and a soul, so it will be aware
Ducks
of
don't have
everything.
souls?
Yeah, they got souls.
Let's say I had a duck as a child. It didn't have a soul. I feel bad.
Right.
for eating it. I don't want to eat something that doesn't have a soul.
I mean that I don't eat meat, but anyway, then that the lecture hall should just be down here.
All right.
1 second, I gotta check a thing real quick
Okay.
because I failed to look at this. All right. So, you have successfully found your way through Taurus Hall, and you located. It's quite obvious. You're getting a lot of flashback now to sitting in on coursework under the previous dean. You recollect that you're starting to remember a little more as you're hearing a very quiet voice kind of floating out of this lecture hall, and basically there's no other sound except like the scratching of quills on paper and the scratching of like chalk on board. But this quiet voice is floating out, and you're remembering you and Ibrahim were in essentially the same year of school. You both became professors of theory at about the same time. You worked together on a number of projects. And as you kind of move into the lecture hall, the doors put you on kind of the back level, you know, as
Right.
lecture halls do. And you're looking down, and you see Ibrahim from the back. He's down there scrawling across the only available space left on this enormous 50-foot chalkboard. Is on like the bottom corner, and he's rapidly filling it in and murmuring about the properties of like how enlargement and shrinking spells used on a particular subject multiple times kind of begin to have reduced effect, and why that is, and like the law of diminishing returns, and just like so much stuff that you remember now is familiar to you. You've had this exact type of thing before under a professor from before.
Right.
But now it's like the roles are reversed, and he's a teacher, and but you're remembering this as a student.
Right.
And so, but it does seem like the lecture's kind of wrapping up. All the heads are bowed over scrambling to get these notes down. And as he's still writing, his head turns fully around because he's owling.
Right.
And kind of scans the lecture hall and seems to notice the both of you standing behind the last row of seats. My other can in the fridge, please.
Good.
So seems to notice you, seems to kind of his words trail off, and then he turns back to the board and says, "Class dismissed." And all of these students start packing bags and then filing
We just
out.
basically just step aside and let them go through.
Let me see. Okay. None of them really, none of the students seem to recognize you in any way, shape, or
Right.
form. Only a few of them kind of like clock you as thank you. Only a few of them clock you as like not from around here or like a new face, but they don't have time to kind of take note of that too much. So the room is eventually cleared, and Ibrahim is still finishing up. Like it's almost like he's lost back in his theories again, and he's still finishing out this enormous equation.
Just gonna basically Tal'gor that we can just go down to just at the front row and then just kind of just wait patiently for him. That he is a bit he just want to make sure that he has everything done first.
Okay.
So you all make your way down the risers into the bottom floor of the lecture hall. As you get closer to Ibrahim, you remember him more as being like a tawny brown, and now there are many, many white feathers kind of sprinkled through like the back of his head. Seems like time has not been quite as kind to him. And eventually, the scratching of the chalk stops, and Ibrahim turns back around, moves over to his desk, and starts shoving papers into like folders and books, and just start kind of packing up his stuff. Occasionally glancing like up at you, but like doesn't seem to know what to say.
Professor? Yes, that we are ambassadors from Israel. We are trying to look for you. You don't remember me, do you?
I give him my best smile. I shouldn't have done that.
You're fine. Ibrahim doesn't even really look your way.
I figured.
He's focusing here. He's like, no, I remember you, Zhonya.
Yes.
I thought you were dead.
No, wasn't dead. I had saved this one's life whenever then I decided to go on that. It was just supposed to be a small work leave, but I had kind of got caught up in the war. He can tell it better than I can. That this is also Ambassador Tal'gor from Israel too.
I give a really fancy bow and knock over a chair with my tail.
Well, thankfully the chairs are the whole like they're welded to the concrete.
Right.
You know the whole really uncomfortable like the flip up table. Yeah.
Oh crap, dude! They got nothing but like the outside park benches with cushions.
But it seems like that you have became quite the professor. It seems now.
Someone had to.
Yeah. Would you like to have this discussion a bit more privately?
Finishes like just grabbing like this armful of stuff and just walks out.
Doesn't even say follow.
Nope.
Nope. Just gonna follow.
This is the hermit dean.
This dude, I feel like this dude just went like, fuck off.
No, I felt like it was. I'm not talking to you on that.
Right.
This is the awkward. You don't know what the hell is going on.
You don't know.
So
me.
I'm just leaving.
That's not my purse. That's not your purse. I don't know you.
You can follow or not. You could insight.
Yeah.
Your
Going
choice.
to insight first before we
Me
follow.
too. Why not?
Get some dice rolls.
Oh, good God. That's a 21.
I got a 13.
You remember Ibrahim as being very... He was always that, like, socially inept awkward.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like it's only gotten worse. You don't think that he was being snubby. It was more just he doesn't know what to do or say in this instance.
Gotcha.
Because he thought you were dead. So y'all can follow him back to his office. We're gonna go ahead and hop skip back over to Phil and.
While you do that.
Okay. So Phil and Arten.
Do me a favor, type yes over there. Yes.
What would the Chaos crew over here like to do after finishing up talking to Johnny?
So he's gotten his whole, like, everything he wanted, he's gotten to talk to his...
We'll do the flashback, but yes.
Okay, I'm just saying, he got the Notice Me Senpai moment.
Yes.
Even though Jed is not here, Phil would not want to take him away
Yes.
from this, so whenever that's finally done, Phil...
Right.
Alright, it's been a long day, and...
It is closing into evening, yeah.
Honestly, it's been a lot. It's been a lot the last couple days, so I'm going to suggest we find a tavern,
Okay.
we have a few drinks,
Okay.
catch some sleep,
Okay.
and then start the look in the morning, Arten. Yes, you're going to make everything smell like cinnamon. I got to meet my senpai. Fuck you. But beer's good.
Alright. So, y'all remember from your... Hello. Y'all remember from your tour, there is the Bow's End Tavern, kind of in the Central Commons, and it should be relatively near the radial street, the thoroughfare where y'all will be coming back in from Lowerhold. So
Right.
it'll be right there when you hop off.
Okay, before we go, Phil Phil is gonna go, nerds! Any of you know how to do sending?
Hang on a minute. Let me actually.
The music.
Yeah, sorry. I have a few actual vocal ones on here. And
It's okay.
That's all good.
I mean, they're all still royalty free. Like, don't. I put that far away. So a humanoid, but with a gray, wrinkly skinned head, large ears, and some kind of proboscis.
Loxodon.
It's a Loxodon. A Loxodon individual kind of raises their hand.
Over here then. Come here.
Comes over slowly.
Alright,
Is this Phil or?
this is
Yeah, this is
Phil. Phil's the one who yelled. I'm not gonna speak for, like, I'm sure that, like,
I
Arten
just couldn't tell the difference between the two. That's all.
I just feel like,
I just figured you would do that accent for him too.
alright, now Arten just sounds like this the entire time. He actually sounds like a real dwarf. Where's me ale? No, but so Phil is going to go, alright, I'm gonna ask you to do me a favor, then I'm gonna give you 5 gold. Because I feel that I need you to send a message to Professor Zhonya Embersong.
Alright.
So, I need you to repeat this to her, word for word.
Pulls out a notebook and like a portable quill. You can see like a small glass vial attached with ink.
Oh, that's super dope.
That's cool.
Do they sell those in the bookstore?
Indeed.
Right, I gotta go get me one of those. Phil's just gonna leave here with all the fucking college members. Like, he's gonna, the dude who wears the LSU shirt that never even went to college.
I've got you. There's a whole list of things in the book.
So Phil's gonna, alright, so write this down. Hot pants.
Hot pants?
Phil's just wanting to make the guy say it. We found some useful information, but it's been a long day. So Arten and I are gonna go get drinks at the pub. Explain everything at home. And how many more words do I got? I don't understand. I've never cast a spell. I stick most of the cantrips.
Pulls the notebook up. It will need to be 2 messages, but I can do that.
Reduce it. Cut out the hot pants. She's probably not going to be funny, and also getting her to say that to her is not going to be as funny as I thought.
We would still need to eliminate three more words. I can send it.
Can you?
as
No.
2
Can you
messages.
hyphenate? Does that help? If you hyphenate, it makes it less words or contractions.
Starts making some marks.
All right. Hands 5 gold. All right. If you'll send that to her, appreciate it.
I got message. Just, no.
Holding hand out, takes the gold, and on pocketing the gold, immediately goes and reads the message back out. We found some useful information, but it's been a long day. Arten and I are gonna go get drunk at the pub, explain everything at home. Yes?
Yes.
Is there any reply?
Reply is gonna be
Obviously, you don't recognize the voice.
right.
Should have specified that. Should have specified that. Oh well,
That-
no.
Going to reply like,
Even before you get the chance to reply, you hear, they wish that they had specified, I'm just a student, they paid me to send this to you.
likewise.
Another 5
I can probably feel that. But for them to reply, for that, my reply would be, okay, we will meet up at Bosun Tavern, travel home, that a professor recognizes me, you know, be patient, and don't get in trouble.
They will meet you at the tavern, at Bow's End Tavern. They say a professor recognizes them, and not to get in trouble.
I cannot promise on that last one because Arten is like Arten. Arten's like totally. I'm pretty sure he's totally standing there cross-armed.
Yep, pretty much. Yeah.
Like,
that
all right,
sounds-
sorry,
sounds
lost you.
legit.
You're being sneaky.
Sounds legit. Are we still chatting?
Yes.
What are
Yeah.
we chatting about? And why are we not chatting in the chat?
Because I want to be private.
Alright. Hello.
Oh,
Kevin?
Kevin.
Kevin.
Yes.
Who, Kevin?
For everybody, that is my child Chaos Muffin. He is watching the original Home Alone right now.
Oh, I feel like I should have known that, but anyway.
See, nowadays you can't make that movie because that kid just busts out their cell phone. You fucking forgot me. I'm reporting you to DCFS.
Right.
That's the end of the movie.
That's
Kevin now has a new
roll
family.
credits.
He's not part of the Chicago mob because that's the only way that dude's affording that house in that neighborhood. That's Gold Coast.
Well, Tal'gor, if that you would like to stay and listen, that I have to catch up with just like Embersong a little bit, but you can go in and meet them at the Bow's Tavern. I will be all right alone.
I'm gonna go ahead and I'll
Okay.
excuse myself and go to the Bow's Tavern.
Alright. We will catch back up with the folks at the Bow's End Tavern in a little bit. Would you like this conversation to be private, just you and the DM, or would you like them to
Actually, yeah, we can. Well,
Yeah.
Alright, cool. It's my first solo!
also, sorry if there's any slow responses to the statements. I'm the one that's also on the keyboard. I will close the doors for you.
Okay.
Don't die.
I'm not gonna die. Oh,
You went. Okay. So you caught up with you made it back to Embersong's office, that hallway with Kian's office. The door's still closed. There's still lights going on behind there. But Embersong has gone into his office. You sent Tal'gor away, and Embersong in his office has plunked his armful of papers onto the desk, and is kind of reaching and pulling other papers and folders and notebooks from different stacks and kind of like creating like his next stack of stuff. And still doesn't seem like glancing up at you ever so often, but still doesn't really seem to know how to.
it is really me. I'm here.
No, I believe you that it's really you. It's just I don't know what to do about this.
Well, that I don't want to cause a stir amongst the school. That the lizard folk, my friend Tal'gor, I brought him back to life, and I had reverted. I was, that I'm pretty, that that I was probably top of my class, very powerful, but I am slowly regaining all of my magic back.
You forgot everything?
Yes, I had a somewhat of a temporal amnesia.
That's
Displacement.
Pulls a fresh sheet of paper and pulls a quill out from like the feathers behind his like ear and starts like taking really scribbly notes.
Right.
Even upside down, you recognize his form of like shorthand.
Right. I mean that it was basically I felt almost reverted back to, like a wizard's first spell. But yet I couldn't remember components or anything like that.
Kiddo, they're not in
But
here.
they're not in here. Go in the kitchen.
Go back
in the
around.
kitchen, bud.
No,
Go in the kitchen,
go. Scoot. Close the door.
Close the door. I got it.
He's got it.
He got it. Okay.
Chaos.
Chaos muffin. But anyway.
Well, if you forgot everything and like turns around and like moves to a file cabinet, kind of in the corner, buried under like parchment. Pulls open a few drawers until he seems to find the one he wants, and digs through, and he's mumbling all the while about where did I put it, and pulls out a notebook. Roll me a intelligence check.
Intelligence, a straight intelligence, that will be a 13.
It looks vaguely familiar, but mostly because the spell book you have now, subconsciously remodeling it off of this one. This is your original spell book.
Where? Must have left that before I had left.
I made sure to get it out of the house before they sold it.
Thank you.
Your house.
Right.
And kind of just hands it back to you.
Thank you.
If you open it up, most of the spells that you've already learned again are there. There are a few that it seems like you used to use a code as well. You'll have to spend some time breaking that code. But there's one spell that it's on a page that is kind of right smack in the middle of the book, and it definitely has like a lot of like thumb marks where you kind of rubbed over the ink a lot and it's kind of smudged. But you recognize the spell as you remember it used to be a favorite of yours. It's Circle of Power. You vaguely remember there was an individual you went to school with here all those long years ago, who was a more of a holy warrior type of individual, had come to Strixhaven for some more like actual theoretical learning to kind of become better, not just be swinging and doing a lot of damage by swinging, but to learn how a magic actually works to be able to be a more effective fighter. And this individual taught you Circle of Power, and you spent enough time with it that it became one of your signature spells in games of Mage Tower, in expeditions into the Bayou and Sedgemoor. This was your signature support move. So what we're gonna do for this mechanically is you can right now, once you refamiliarize yourself with it in the book, you can cast it once per long rest.
Okay, once per long rest.
Once you achieve 5th level spell capabilities, you'll be able to cast it an unlimited number of times.
Okay.
Because that's essentially you get a signature spell out of it.
Right. Well, thank you, Professor Abraham. I mean, that it was quite a shame and a shock to me whenever that we were on this adventure, because that, how familiar are you with Zrel? The Zrelin people?
There've maybe been a few students, but they tend to gravitate more toward the historical, or they tend to gravitate more toward Lawhold or Prismari. Sometimes Silverquill. We don't get them here that often.
Okay.
They're a young land.
Yes.
They don't have the depth of pardon my rudeness, but they don't seem to have the depth of sheer scholarly knowledge to be able to function well here at Strixhaven.
I mean, that I would say just maybe that some of the monks of basically Kairos maybe would.
Well, yes, the individuals that we've had here, that sounds familiar, but again, it's just they're very, I hate to use the word primitive, but they're primitive compared to some other lands.
That is true. That the reason that I am suddenly back up in Strixhaven is for we are looking for a shard piece of a sense, because there is a imbalance of gods there, and we are trying to restore balance there. Do not alarm anyone else about this, please. We don't want to cause an uproar amongst the campus.
Well, I don't imagine that something there would be able to affect us here, even if there was an upheaval.
I mean, it's not an upheaval more so. It's just basically one of my traveling companions that he has a magical artifact that basically led us here, and then that it is somewhere in this campus.
Well, I certainly I have not heard of a shard. That's not a. Have you checked with the individuals at Lawhold?
No. Then I do believe that we had sent some of our, that we had basically split us up, and then I think that the Leonin, and then that the Astral Elf, then that they had also went to Lawhold.
I remember there was an expedition that Lawhold set out to a few places about 150 years ago. I do remember a few of the records when they were coming back. I vaguely remember there being a number of things that were labeled as from Israel. Not very many, handful. But again, that would be a question for them. They're the ones that would have the records.
Yes, that is true. All right. Well, thank you, Emberham. I will basically take this as just a sign that maybe after my adventure I will try to come back and teach.
Yes, you will of course have a you won't have a place. Karen bought your house.
I mean, yeah, I know, and then that's quite all right. I mean that I am up in no means of trying to get it back or anything. That we are trying to keep as covert as possible without stirring too much of a ruckus. Even though that I am the only it is basically two marshals and just two spellcasters in our group.
What I mean is you won't have you. It's almost like you would be starting over again. But as the dean, and kind of like seems to be trying to pull himself together. He's like as the dean of theory, I can assure you that you will have a position on the faculty if you so wish it when you return.
It's okay. I mean that you don't have to give me any kind of special privilege, nepotism, anything like that.
You were on the verge of having tenure to begin with.
I mean that even though that that I do somewhat remember that that hourglass project, because that according to theory and also time, I was also working on that too.
I don't have those documents.
Yeah.
Those would have went with the house.
I mean, then I'm pretty sure that somebody has stole that work and used it.
There was a tempest.
It was a tempest?
Yes. It didn't get your house. But a lot of people lost papers. It was a tempest. One of the final projects from those mages at Prismari. It's dangerous.
What in all has happened? I had noticed that there was like writing on the bulletin board about that quadrant sucks.
There's some kind of shuts up for a minute, and it's kind of like that long awkward pause, but I hate to use the word infighting.
Infighting?
It's become a bit of struggle in the last few years. There's some of the students don't want to be cooperative as they used to.
I mean, that I know that I used to try to teach with not a red hot iron quill, but it was a pretty. It was just a pretty warm one. But
some of the students are taking the principle of balanced extremes to extremes.
Okay.
It's becoming more and more difficult to convince them that each of the colleges is worthwhile in its own time.
Well, as that I have basically been rediscovering myself and such, that the Leonin, Arten, that he would just always say it's like, well, you have to make something prove to yourself. And basically you have to show them what you are worth. That those are his words, not mine.
The Council of Deans has been trying to come up with a solution. We of course don't want the Dragon's God to get involved. That would be not.
Oh no, God no. God's no.
You would be remembering now again, like in a flash, that the Dragon's Guard are essentially, they're a group, an elite group of like multidisciplinary mages and scholars and other individuals who seek employment or, shall we say, gain employment working directly with the founder dragons. It's an elite force, but they essentially become kind of the, for lack of a better term, they're the enforcement of law, if need be, on Strixhaven specifically. You remember that kind of the leader of the Dragon's Guard is an individual known as the Voice of the Founders. You remember him as Taiba, a human male who's rather imposing, very authoritative and inscrutable.
That's despicable Taiba still around?
Yes, he has spoken on the subject a few times, and we have, as I said, we the Deans have tried to reinforce the principles of unity and value in all quarters, but it seems like some other forces is at work sowing discord among some of the students, especially the younger students.
Well then that one thing is for certain is then that our group, nameless as we may be, that we have faced daily challenges, and in that whatever that this is, that we will write this as well as with our own agenda.
Just yes. If there's anything I can do to help you.
Actually, yes. That if you have a spare sending, that I would like to have that in my spell book.
Yes. And digs around and pulls out just like a scrap of paper. Seems like it's kind of pulled from like like a corner of a larger page and hands it over.
All right, thank you. Scroll is sending. Right, then that'd be very helpful for us to communicate better.
Yes. Yes. I
Sure, it's okay.
If I remember correctly, I remember Silverquill was trying to convince some of the older students some of the older students had an idea to use the Inklings as messenger servants. I don't know if they ever got that put together.
I mean, I think that'd be that's actually very ingenious of them. I mean, then like after all, that they are the voices for us in a sense.
Yes.
Well, that she is going to get up and just give them a, no pun intended, warm hug.
Yeah.
Just basically just lightly, make it just a warm embrace.
He's
just like, thank you.
He's stiff, but he kind of does the awkward shoulder pat.
Oh, that you are still always just as flustered. You are always just as flustered as but it is okay.
As you pull away, all of his like facial feathers are kind of poofed out. You remember this is essentially the owlin form of a blush.
I mean that it's okay. I mean that just that you have done a good job, and just make sure that it does not get out that pretty sure that student is probably going to be passing off rumors and stuff about Professor Embersong is messaged me. I had to message Professor Embersong, but I have been dealing with chaos, but that's just the beauty of it.
Well, and a little 3-legged clock buried under some papers on his desk starts ringing. He digs around, finds it, pushes the button on top, and says, "I've got another lecture," and starts gathering his papers. And even as you're talking and trying to say goodbye, he's basically rushing out the door. He leaves the door open again.
I'm just gonna close it.
Yeah.
Close it for him and then just head to Bozine Tavern.
Okay. All right.
I can go get him.
We'll go ahead and get them back in here then.
Come on in. Come on back. Oi. Fajitas are good. Alright.
Drinking?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Everybody back. Where do we lose Phil?
He went to go get something to drink.
Right, we're on wait. Phil. So how's y'all Cinco de Mayo?
Good, for the most part. I mean, fajitas were good.
They were very tasty.
Note to self that make sure you at least have at least 2 good cooks in your D&D group.
That's right.
Because somebody knows how to cook, who needs to order pizza all the time?
A truer truth was never spoken truth.
Are y'all responding to chat?
No, we are just vamping.
No.
We're killing time until you get your butt back in here.
All they asked gave you the requirements to be a partner, which we don't quite come close to. 75 viewers.
Yeah. Viewers is actually, it's just basically for partners and stuff that's a lot of time and energy, and then most of us work full time and stuff, and it's just basically that we are dedicated to it. But as that I have always told people up in the art community, since then I basically do a lot of art. I am getting up into a little bit of voice acting. Is that success is basically a byproduct of whatever you do. If that we make money, we make money. That the main thing is it's all for fun. Yeah. That's the biggest thing. And then that the second that you try to basically start being oh yeah, I need to do this for money and stuff like that, it becomes unfun. And that's pretty much it on that. Okay.
What you said?
I don't know. Also, vote for Team Longbow, the superior weapon.
Great axe.
Boy, are you okay in here?
No.
Child? Words. For anyone on the internet that can kind of see me in the door, I have a small child.
I see you in the door.
And he's telling me he's now a big boy, so okay, he's good. And are you going inside? You going whine at the door, dog. Come on. In. None of this crap.
So on that, the way before that she meets up with just basically them, that she is just going to basically, just take a scrap piece of paper and just be Quantrix rules instead, and just cover it.
Nice. All right, so we're gonna get you all back to Bozine Tavern. Phil and Arten, y'all can catch a pardon me, I'm trying to y'all can catch one of the Equinaton carriages on your way out. Tal'gor, you'll have to try to remember how to get back across and make it out again. Yeah. Make it a wisdom for like situational awareness, because we've got like changing bridges over some of these chasms outside Taurus Hall, and just.
Oh, you gotta go through Gryffindor's freaking moving stairwell.
It's a 17.
Yeah, you've actually got pretty good memory of how Zhonya led you through before.
Okay.
So you make it across. So Phil and Tal'gor will arrive. Phil and Arten will arrive first. Tal'gor about 15 minutes later. Zhonya's going to be about a half hour behind Tal'gor. But I need to find. I know it's in here somewhere. I think it's in chapter 3. Neysa does not have the book memorized.
That's perfectly fine.
Speak for yourself.
That's why you just make shit up eventually.
That's what I do. I just make
I'm running out of capability to make shit up, though. That's the problem.
I
It's
feel
like I gotta be able to.
It's that time of year where I'm just like,
If it gives me something to go off of, I'm taking that.
Perfectly fine. Gotta say this for the internet. Two of us are teachers, and we're in the home stretch, which means we're about brain dead.
I know about for me, I'm out.
I mean, you know
I
that.
still gotta do summer school.
I do too.
I'm looking forward to
They're
that.
giving me
35 an hour.
They're giving us 40.
Fuck!
No, I'm just fucking with you.
Okay.
That's it.
Alright. So, Bozen Tavern is a squat but comfortable looking building. Its gleaming wooden exterior is carved in overlapping Strixhaven star motifs. The interior is dim and cozy, if a little loud depending on time of day, and being as this is kind of evening, it's pretty rough. It's got some rich mahogany floors, some well-worn furniture of oak and black leather. You can see a live musical act setting up on a stage on the tavern's patio. Seems like it's a group of probably middle grade students. Remembering this is so it's like sophomore, junior students. Because it's a university situation.
Is this like a 4-year university or like
so it's actually a 5-year university. The first year is kind of gen studies, and then you have four following years of like your singular college or multi-class colleging after that. So it's kind of like last year of high school, senior, and then freshman.
Like a capstone.
Yeah, like you basically general, then just focus on whatever you want to do pretty much.
I'm seriously considering running an actual like Strixhaven campaign at some point, because this is super awesome. Like the world building in here is incredible. But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Start out at Candlekeep, end up at the real school.
Okay. But yeah, so there's a main dining room. There's a patio out back. Let's see here. Yeah, it's pretty much your general use student pub.
Okay. I'm definitely just gonna buy a round of drinks
Okay.
for our party, and
They show
We'll order.
first.
Phil's gonna walk in. Just looking around the room, is it like getting a read on the place? Just
Okay. Roll perception for me.
all right. Can't insight the whole bar, which would be worse. 5.
It's a little loud. A couple of the out on the patio, the live stage, somebody twangs the lyre at just the wrong moment, and it's a little bit cringy. Kind of distracts you for a minute.
Through it all, you're my wonderwall. Oh my god.
No. God.
It's better than somebody once told. That feels like I'm burning the bar down. I'm burning the bar down.
But it's pretty like there's pretty much a most of the tables inside are filled. Most of the tables on the patio are either filled or filling as people kind of find their friends and kind of just there's not a lot of space left. If you want a table, you better grab one.
God, I really wish Jed was here, because I'd make him do the song again. But I can't just make him do it because he's not here, and that's not cool. So Phil's going to
Your choice of interior or on the patio is kind of where we're at.
Hello.
Hello.
Sorry to interrupt. Has he had medicine?
No.
You said boop, not poop. I was like, what is happening?
He said boop, but he poked me in the butt. I do eat.
Ugh. Love you, baby.
Love you.
Phil's
Also,
gonna.
this child keeps snitching shrimps and peppers.
What?
Did he wait till we got out the room to steal?
Well, until I came home, then he was like, "What is that?" I'm like, "Shrimp and peppers," and he's like, "I want to eat it." Okay. I had to stop him to come back.
Child, that's not yours.
No, but if we ever go back to Chili's again, I got a fajita buddy.
The shrimp army trying
No,
to.
my child absolutely, like, I'm so good. My son does not have the food texture hang-ups that I do, and that his mother can actually cook, so there's not horror stories for a fried chicken to fish like I had. So I'm
Boiled
really,
vegetables.
huh?
Boiled vegetables.
Oh God.
Anyway.
She boiled asparagus. Okay, so now that I've sufficiently done food horror, so Phil's gonna look around the room, kind of read that maybe yelling "I'm buying a whole round for you" really loud is going to draw way more attention.
Yeah.
So Phil's then going to slink to the bar and go, "All right, who's at the bar?"
So at the bar, you see an owlin. Looks similar to you've met Shale, the dean of Radiance from Silverquill. So a similar appearance, but this owlin's appearance is kind of definitely has a younger look, a little bit shorter, almost a dwarf in height. Seems to be standing on a crate or something behind the bar, and is kind of a steely gray color with little tufts coming off.
Goddamn, owls are adorable.
They are. I love them.
All right, look, my friend, the big cat man who's over there trying to find a table for us right now, he didn't want to yell it out loud because he didn't know if it'd be acceptable. But I told him, fuck it, you're only at Strixhaven once. In any case, I'm gonna buy a round for everybody, and it's on him if you'd announce it, because he's a little shy.
As Arten's just kind of like dragging chairs from tables to fill up a table.
He's a little shy. He's not talking to anybody about it. He just does it.
All right.
Oh no, you got the sneezies?
Bless you.
Well, pulls like a receipt pad over.
How much is around for everybody?
Well, you gonna make me have to do math.
It's hard.
Phil just looks up. If I hand you 100 gold right now, will that drink everybody for at least a couple drinks?
From the the bar is kind of like an island in kind of the between the patio itself and the interior. And from the interior of the building, coming toward the bless you lover, just comes a 7 foot tall, kind of green gray skin, has tusks coming out of his mouth, but this individual is smiling broadly. And comes and kind of leans onto the bar beside you and says, "That'd be more than enough, friend."
All right, and I'm gonna hand over 100 gold.
Okay, bud.
Drinks for everybody until that's not enough. Also, I want 1 full bottle of dwarven whiskey.
Stand by. And goes back into the building. Goes to a door kind of in the back. Returns a minute or so later with a bottle kind of amber color and full to the neck with some very dark liquid inside. The label is a pickaxe on what looks like a chunk of pyrite. And hands that over, says, "On the house for your generosity."
Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Also, gotta ask. Is GIF vodka here?
Is
GIF, GIFF, vodka.
pulls like from an apron, pulls out like a receipt pad, and flips through. Oh, seems like the most recent shipment would have been a few years ago. Nothing really since, and I haven't seen it in the inventory.
Good. Never buy vodka from the GIF. If you're gonna buy from the GIF when they come from the Astral Sea, what you got to get, what you absolutely have to get,
Pulls a quill from behind an ear.
is GIF gin.
Alright. Takes a note on a clean page and then flips the whole thing back, closed. Is there anything else I can get for you?
Absolutely not. The player is just sitting here realizing he's been sitting on 900 something gold for multiple games and not been able to spend shit.
The orc, before you take your dwarven whiskey and make your way off, says, Tulk is the name. If you need anything else,
T-O-K?
T-U-L-K.
T-U-L-K. Tolk.
Like bulk, but with a T. And, kind of introduces himself and, kind of thanks for your patronage. And then the owlin that you were talking to says, Bulk! And the orc turns and goes kind of behind the bar to help with prepping some glasses.
Gonna go sit down, pour a full glass for both Arten and Phil. Alright, we're drinking.
Alright, so did you pick a spot on the patio or in the bar itself?
You know what? I will trust you to roll for Arten to see where Arten drug the chairs since you dictated.
That is going to be patio. Y'all will get some lovely music once they finally get their strings tuned.
Will they actually announce that Arten bought the rounds for the next solid chunk of time?
No, it's more going to be like a pay-it-forward situation. When people come to the bar, they'll basically get their first round, like, out of the tab.
Nice.
They don't want to start a riot.
Yeah.
Phil.
These are students, and Tolk knows his business.
Phil's about to be broke as shit and get the holes. What happened? Like deans are waking up half naked, hanging off balconies.
Oh my god.
Somebody has like Greek letters on their chest. They have no clue what it means.
Is this gonna be old school again? But Strixhaven old school?
You know what? If we could find a way to make old school or Animal House not problematic, I would be down. But I don't think there's any way to do that, and the DM would literally murder us in real life.
Yeah, I know.
All right, Tal'gor. You've made your way back into Central Commons. Roll me a quick intelligence, like a history check again, to make sure you remember how to get where you're going.
I rolled an actual 20.
Nice. You remember the Bozen Tavern is on the other side of the Biblioplex. So when you hop off of the Equinaton carriage, you walk around the Biblioplex, you find the tavern easily enough.
Okay.
Roll me perception as you're coming up to see if you can spot Arten and Phil in the crowd.
I would like to argue it's advantage because we stand the fuck out. He already rolled it. So never mind.
It's 8. It's fine.
Yeah, no, as more and more individuals are filing in, there are other, there's tabaxi, there's dwarves, there's halflings, there's humans, there's elves, there's some more of these individuals that are really, really pale with blood red lips. Definitely look like vampires. As the sun's kind of gone down, they're not using their black parasols right now. There's orcs, there's half-orcs, there's loxodon, there's even some that look more like rhinoceros-headed individuals. But there's a lot of different people in this place.
Phil is just drinking. I have missed diversity so much since leaving the Astral Sea.
I'm gonna go ahead and get myself a big tankard of beer.
Okay. As you approach the bar, this little owlin kind of turns and from filling a bunch of they look like really they look damp. They're water genasi.
Okay.
There's a group of water genasi that we're getting some beverages. The owlin kind of spins around and comes over to your side of the bar, takes your order, hands you the drink, and
I'm gonna say, and I want to buy at the top of my lungs. I want to buy around for everybody, and I'm gonna slam my bullet down.
There's a dead silence goes through.
I'm like, I just got my voice back and I want to celebrate.
Okay, does Phil hear this?
Yes.
Fuck yes!
There is a rumble as literally every chair in the tavern on the patio is pushed back and everyone just starts swarming the bar.
Phil is still sitting there he is sipping this because he's worked with enough dwarves. I hope Arten is sipping this. Arten, hold on. Who's got Arten's stats?
They're in the Discord.
I hold on.
What's his Constitution score?
I'm gonna say, what's his wisdom score first? Like
we know that he'll drink a lot given the opportunity. Because he's done that.
Yeah, he did that last night. Hair of the dog.
Okay, so wisdom is 12.
Hair of the mane of the lion.
His constitution's 18, so he should be. Oh, but we can roll if you want.
Go ahead and roll him a Constitution check to see how this is affecting him.
He got a 23.
He's all right.
Yeah.
He's kind of down in a goodly bit of it, but he's all right.
Slow down. No, don't.
You Tal'gor, you're kind of getting swarmed and mobbed from like just everybody crowding the bar. I'm gonna need some strength or some dex moves to get out of here. Your choice, really.
Are you about to get lifted up and
or
crowd surf, or you're...
Let me. Oh, it's the same, so I'll just do strength. Is it a save or just?
Tal'gor just starts punching
just
people.
make it like a check, like either like acrobatics or athletics.
Acrobatics. That's gonna definitely be athletics. It's gonna be a 15.
Alrighty. You managed to keep your feet, thankfully. But you're kind of trying to make your way through. You heard Phil going like yes, and looking over the heads of most of these students. You're going to be able to see them easily enough at their table. So you make your way down to their table.
Okay. I'm just gonna go ahead and say I dropped 50 gold.
Okay.
Okay, on the counter.
We have just made this because what is it like? Drinks are usually coppers or silvers.
Yeah.
At least they made their money for tonight.
Oh god, they're out of penny pitchers. They are completely out of penny pitchers at this bar.
Phil, as you are watching Tal'gor make his way over to you, you see the it seems to be like the manager, or maybe the owner, the orc Tolk, is 7 foot tall, so he's definitely visible over everything. And is kind of holding a rock up to his ear.
Oh no.
And seems to be calling for reinforcements, maybe. You see a bit of panic in his eyes.
Did I keep my drink going through the crowd?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll allow it. Yeah.
Okay.
Tal'gor don't party foul.
Okay, sure.
So Phil's gonna look at you. See, I did it sneaky, thinking that I could get this one.
I just got my voice back.
Oh, we're making this bar's night. We're also making this bar's nightmare. So
How much did you give them?
I give them 100 gold.
So
Everybody,
they probably made what they usually make in a month.
no more
20
than
minutes?
30 really good nights. I'm assuming it's a college town. But I mean, seriously, I told them, here's 100 gold, and whenever somebody walks up, their first drink's free, and now their second drink's free.
You see, watching before Tal'gor showed up and caused a beer riot. The bards on the stage, kind of out on the patio. One of them, a rather bulked out human, has now left to go join the queue to try to bring back drinks. The remaining 3 in the band are starting to kind of, they're trying to get things put together so that as soon as people are taking seats again, they seem like they want to get started with their performance. But yeah, until such time as things die down at the bar itself, y'all have a pretty much quiet zone around you.
But I'm gonna say this. You're way bigger than me and you can move through that crowd way easier. If I give you some more money, will you do it again?
Sure.
Alright. I'm gonna hand him 50 gold.
Let's not burn this place down.
Oh my god.
No, it's just a repeat of what you did. I'm now at 835.
Okay.
Who's got the party fund?
I have the party for
No, this is Phil's
I'm making
personal.
sure you're not using the party fund.
This is what Phil has personally had on his character sheet for multiple games. And just not spend a fucking dime because we had nowhere to do it.
Tal'gor, are you going to try to do that now, or are you waiting?
I mean, I'll wait patiently to get back in there.
Wait for it to die down just a little bit, so then we can do a round 3.
Okay.
Also, Mom's not here to stop us.
Okay.
For now.
Oh shit, she's coming, isn't she?
Yeah.
Hold on. Everybody act sober.
Phil. As you finish making these plans, you hear from the lamp, you hear, oh, this is going to be a ride.
Oh yes, I know, right? Just whispering, but saying this loud enough for, look, you like to bring happiness to everybody? This is the only way I can do it right now. We have been in a world full of sad and upset and shadows and broken god hearts and shit. Now I'm just gonna get college kids drunk and look, there's dogs that know how to operate doors here. It's fucking fantastic. It's Professor Weens.
Oh, damn.
He's a master of cutaturgy.
Cutaturgy.
Hey, Dewey. You come up?
Oh, how many inspos do you have racked up?
Well, hold on. We gotta get the ones from today.
Yeah, sorry.
So that puts me at 7.
I'm not giving you an inspo for that. It was fun, but
legit. No, I don't expect it.
I thought about it. Like, if you'd been low, I'd have gave you one, but
Fair. Sitting on a bank here, just in case I have to ride like a Leviathan.
all right. So, we'll let things kind of settle down. Zhonya, you show up to the tavern. More memories kind of coming back. It seems like it's a bit of a party atmosphere in the tavern tonight. This is quite intriguing.
Alright, that normally
5 on a con save.
You know that they will be studying, but I guess that some alumni must have paid for drinks or something.
And I would like everybody, the 3 of you at the table, to roll perceptions to see if you can see Zhonya coming up.
I'm rolling with disadvantage.
You get a 23.
Okay. Tal'gor, you see Zhonya.
I'll whistle somehow.
Okay.
I don't know how, but I'll do a lizard. Oh, kind of thing.
That must be Tal'gor.
You can spot them through the crowd now that you kind of you know that they're here. You spot them through the crowd. You can head directly
Just
to the
head
table, kind
directly
of
to them.
weaving around students. Definitely seems like there's a lot of booze on the tables right now. Quite a lot. Most of the tables you pass, each individual seems to have at least a tankard or 2 in front of them. And Phil, as you approach, is kind of slumped
Phil's
in
gonna
the chair.
cup his hands around his mouth. Play Stairway to Heaven! Do it!
I am more of a Painted Black fan, but anyway.
The half elf on the stage playing the fiddle kind of gives like a bit of a nod and cues it up, and they start jamming. It doesn't sound anything like Stairway to Heaven, but it's a jam.
Close enough.
What's the heavenly plane?
Celestia. Fine. You're playing half 5-step to Celestia.
Elevator to Celestia.
I mean, that's fine, but what is all of this? I have
I have absolutely no idea.
I'm gonna get a refill. So I go to the bar again.
Okay. The bar is definitely cleared out. There's only a handful of people kind of around waiting on the Owlin or Tolk to pour them drinks. As you approach, the Owlin sees you, and
I was just showing him my flaw. This is the first time I've gotten to do it.
so the Owlin sees you, very carefully steps over to the bar on your side.
Okay.
How can I help you?
Well, I just got my voice back and want to celebrate. What's an exotic drink you recommend? What's your most exotic drink?
All right. Well. I do believe that's going to be the molly tie.
Okay.
It's a bit sweet and tart.
Okay. Got 4 of those?
Mm-hmm. Is like waiting to see if you're going to holler again.
And I'm going to pull up the big bag of coins he gave me and say,
The owlin snaps, and you're now basically silenced.
I was like,
We'll add it to the tab.
how long am I silenced? I'm just curious.
For about a minute.
Okay. So I'm gonna take the tray back.
Okay. They finish pouring.
Really,
They finished pouring your drinks.
what I was gonna do was just keep it. Then I was like, I'm not gonna do that.
Phil would have never known
I
at
know.
this point.
The owlin hands you the tray with the molly ties, and as you're turning to walk away, says, "Do not holler. They know the tab exists."
I'm gonna wink and be say,
Snaps, and you can feel that you're able to speak.
It's like
that's all I'm gonna do is
yells free round.
no, I don't do that. I'm gonna respect the bar. I've already messed with them enough. So I'm gonna come back with the molly ties
Are we the worst?
and
and
put
the
them in
best?
front of Phil. Say, Phil, the bartender really likes you, so you got to drink one of these.
Wait, which one? Little Fluff
Yes,
or Big Buff?
yes. Here, just
I can never leave y'all alone again.
let's do it.
Zorina,
I'm gonna take one too and go.
Is this like a shot or is this like a full drink?
It's a Mai Tai.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah. That is a failed wisdom check. Phil's just gonna take it up.
Okay.
It comes in a
Move that-
little
move-
furry-sided cup like a coconut.
I'm gonna move
The little
the umbrella. Move the straw over.
You gotta drink it really quick though. What she said.
I can't drink anything real quick. But she.
Yeah.
I've been here.
Oh no! You saying she said the drink
She said that.
request?
Yeah. She's very wise. I'm gonna sit down.
She didn't say anything.
I'm gonna put one in front of, if you want it.
Oh, that I don't drink because that the last time that I had drunk, it was like right before graduation. Ended up reversing the time, so everybody got an extra day to study on finals, but I nearly got expelled.
Okay.
That's beautiful. I love it.
Just got the straw in his mouth going to town.
I'm just impressed that you're doing the noise without actually having a straw to do the noise. That's impressive.
Do I do
Great.
another con save?
Great, that
Yes, at
I
disadvantage. This is
I
not
am going to take it that formalities will be spoken about
Double
in
nine.
the morning.
So 11.
The molly tie isn't as strong as the whiskey. You're kind of holding steady.
This is just sugar.
Or give him another one.
No, this is sugar. I don't like there's coconut in it. It's in a coconut and it's got coconut in
like
it.
take it and just smell it a little bit.
It's very tropical.
Do
it's
I remember
coconut
what exactly
section.
this is? A Molly time.
It's a very tropical drink. You remember it's got some kind of a milky white liqueur in it.
I'm going to go
citrusy
get us a real
fruits.
drink. You got
I
us
was not a
this.
fan of that one.
They said that's the most exotic drink.
Phil's going to walk right up to the bar. I need 4 long may he reign.
All right. And then pulls out. I have no idea what this is actually going to be. Talk to me.
That's a long guy.
Phil's just saying long may he reign.
Okay.
He doesn't know what it is.
No, Phil knows what it is. I don't know what it is. I'm leaving it to the DM to figure out what it is.
The DM who doesn't do alcoholic beverages?
It
But here's
sounds
the- no,
like
here's
a
the
Long
thing that's
Island
better
iced
is-
tea.
I would say Long Island.
Also, if anybody else, whatever they give him, Phil's accepting.
You should give him a glass of water.
Phil's gonna look at that. That's not a long may he reign, but that is appreciated and will be needed.
The little Alan makes up a tray of 4 waterbacks and 4 tall glasses. We'll say it looks like caramel colored liquid, but before hands it over to you entirely, pulls out a dark blue bottle, pops the cork on it. You hear it actively like pop out, and tops each long may he reign, with something that bubbles and kind of effervesces. Still a caramel-colored liquid, so it doesn't dilute the
How much do I owe for that?
Marks it off the tab on the sheet.
Yeah, okay. Phil's just gonna take it, put it back.
We've given him like 200 gold, man. I'm sure.
Yeah, we have given 200 gold.
As you're turning to walk away, the Owlin kind of calls out to the table and says, "Would you like some food with that?"
Yes.
Something wrong.
Well, okay, we don't do that for safety reasons.
Since that it is loud, that I'm just gonna, that Zonya's just gonna be like,
The Owlin's voice is carrying.
okay.
I'm sure they were like magical. Yeah.
Or they just know how to yell across a room full of loud, drunk assholes.
This is a silver quill scholar. They've got some like auditory control magic.
Just at the usual, just like at the usual.
You've got it, Quandrix! And turns to head into the kitchen.
Did that one just slur you?
Hold on.
Hold on. No, Phil's
be right back.
gonna put the
No.
Did that one just say something mean to you?
No.
Phil, that's
I
the
got
name of
this.
the college he went to.
Oh.
You recognize me? That you just said Quandrix.
You've got the gear thing going on? I thought that might have been... Was I wrong?
No,
Are you
are
Prismari?
No, I know that I am Quandrix.
Weatherbloom.
Oh no, she's not Witherbloom.
But that she is gonna like pointedly like look at the Barayan and at the metal hourglass. Like that's just my magic symbol. But yes, I did go to Quandrix.
I'm gonna go get the stew.
Yeah, that works.
And heads back into the kitchen.
Just at the meme at the meme of like Jordan Peele sweating profusely, just like.
Okay. Alright, so you all can have kind of a settle down time. The Owlin will bring you some stew to go with your beverages. The Long May He Reigns are essentially, I'm going to say they're Long Island iced teas with just a little bit of Coke on the top. There's actually cola here. Cola's a thing.
That really doesn't sound bad, but I don't drink anymore, so.
Phil's just gonna slowly sip it. Also look at at this point I'm assuming half a bottle of dwarven whiskey and look at
About a third
Arten.
of it's left.
actually looks at Arten. Oh, tomorrow's gonna fucking suck.
So
But that's tomorrow's problem.
Tomorrow is prompt.
tomorrow is probably.
Wait, hold on. What time is it?
It's about
I don't have a watch.
we'll say it's about 7 o'clock in the evening.
I mean,
7:30.
I mean that.
Yeah, we are day drinking.
I mean that I was gonna try to go to the bookstore tomorrow.
Oh, I'm down. This Loxodon fella had like this whole clipboard that a link quill, and the quill was there, and it had a.
Yeah, And then as she just
What the
pulls
fuck
out
It's a bucket.
that she
What the fuck, mate?
Someone post sent it to me, so I had to show you.
So
I thought you were saying that was like us at the table.
the quill.
Okay, that's cute.
So the quill itself had like a little vial of ink embedded in it. It's like it's
It's a pen.
it's a pen.
Okay, so yeah, I saw something really cool, and it was nice. I need one.
Yeah, that is just a portable quill.
Yeah, whatever. I need it.
She just pulls out the one up in the bag she's had.
I'm gonna get my own.
Right. Then that they also come up in different colors too. That there is green, red, black, blue.
We are going to the bookstore right now.
No, it's closed.
We can get in.
Not for long.
Not.
We just need to get them all way more drunk, and then we just say, raid the bookstore. And then they can't arrest everybody.
They'll arrest you for
They
suggesting
would.
it.
But that's why I use a different spell to sound different.
Well, then that we are supposed to be here as ambassadors, not as
Looters.
that. Thank
Well-
you, Tal'gor.
You want a drinking contest?
No.
You sure?
You should have some of that right there before Arten finishes it.
Okay, I'm gonna just take a big gulp from the
Dwarf
whiskey.
of the whiskey. Alright.
Alright,
I mean that.
What's your con score?
15 in a roll.
Yeah, roll for it, please. Con save. save.
Oh, he's good.
You're 19.
Alright, yeah, you good.
But anyway, that we didn't really find much of nothing. That I had got some information a little bit about my past, but I want to hear about what did y'all find.
I'm so happy Jed is not here because drunk Phil gets to explain everything. All right, so.
Okay.
So. What happened was, we took it over there to the giant archaeological site.
To Lorehold.
Aye, whatever. We went there. We went into the book hall, and all of a sudden there was a giant talking lion statue that Arten got such a boner for that
Johnny?
I
I
don't
rolled a natural
maybe
20.
that's his name. Yeah. I was gonna say Bob, but so they talked for like a hot minute twice. And I'm like, it's a statue, and then all of a sudden I figured out, oh wait, a part of his soul's there because that dude's probably dead, and this is like some weird animatronic bullshit that's really fucking dope. And I was like, oh man, this is cool. And then we were like, oh wait, we're here to talk to a giant, so we gotta find the biggest fucking door. And then we went downstairs, and then the stairs got bigger and bigger and bigger, and we're like, oh, this is gonna fucking suck to go back up. And then he totally didn't really pay attention to us, but he tried to clone the heart shard. And it didn't work.
Her eyes just light up like.
Yeah, he made it, but it didn't have the magic in it. But it was a beautiful piece of onyx. And then he showed me he was working on these rhino people's crowns, and that was super dope because he's really skilled. But what was his name? What was his name?
But the shard, were we able to collect it?
No. Shit, where's his name? I wrote it down somewhere. Osgear. Ozzy was the one making it. And then he told us that Purple Sticky Punch Whip was the one who took it from him.
Purple Sticky Punch Whip.
Purple Sticky Mask Whip. There we go.
Purple Sticky Mask Whip.
Yeah, a guy with a purple mask and a sticky whip threatened him and said, give it to me or I'll whip you. And he's like, but I'm a whole ass stone giant. And he's like, but I'll whip you good. And he's like, I'm still a whole ass stone giant, but you know what? Fuck it. I don't care. I'm already done with this. Boop.
What is everyone at the table's passive perception?
12.
13.
What? That's 10 plus your wisdom.
10 plus your perception
10
score.
plus your perception score.
14.
Okay, what's Arten's? I feel like he has something.
Yeah, I think
higher.
his is higher.
He's rather perceptive.
Yeah, he's rather perceptive.
It's 14.
Okay. Tal'gor and Arten.
Okay.
As Phil is continuing to explain about this purple masked individual to Zhonya, you both, we'll for ease of making this work, we'll say that Tal'gor and Arten are sitting on the around the same corner of the table as each other, and across the patio, you both just you feel like you need to be looking across the way. Something's happening over there. You look up and you see an individual wearing black robes turning away from the table they were sitting at and walking off onto the street. You catch the barest glimpse of a silvery mask trailing purple smoke.
So I'm going to look at Arten and go, I'm going to get up from the table, just follow him,
And then-
sneakily, if I can.
Oh, I guess he's gotta go pee.
Okay, so I'll need you to roll stealth for both yourself and Arten.
This will be for Arten. He got a 9, and me, a 14.
Okay. Arten bumps into a few of he's apparently had a little too much of the whiskey tonight. He bumps into a couple tables on the way out, kind of scrapes the wood a little bit. Few students are kind of like, hey, watch it, kind of thing. By the time you all make the edge of by the time you and Arten make the edge of the pavilion to the street, this individual seems to have disappeared.
We're just going to keep walking, laughing, joking, towards the direction we think he went.
Okay.
And just kind of sit around like we're talking.
Okay.
bullshitting and looking around for like any signs of where he might have gone.
Okay. Both y'all roll survival. In the meantime, what are Phil and Zhonya doing with this information?
They laughed.
Yeah, that they just left, that they didn't say anything.
That's
I got a 21. He got a 6.
Sus.
But hold on. Arten's pretty drunk. Not
Yeah.
drunk as me drunk, but that's because he's way bigger.
I mean,
Do you think Tal'gor's just helping him back so he can get some little Erebos
I
TLC?
don't have any way to contact you.
and then I want to learn it rather than burn it, so.
Hold on, give me a second.
This.
Prestidigitation.
You hear Tolk from behind the bar go, "Thanks."
Prestidigitate again and just go back to drinking.
I
What? I'm speaking from real life experience from college with this one.
You press to digitate?
I prestidigitate the vomit away.
yeah, did you clean up after yourself?
He spewed.
No, I meant in college.
I didn't know prestidigitation in college. I just made sure to do it in the trash can.
I think we should get up and see where they went.
Right.
Yeah, then that. I know an old elven just remedy that my mom had taught us.
No.
No, that this is a wood elf remedy. That this is
No!
What?
What elves are all about purging? I just purge. I don't need to do more purge.
You need to purge from the other end.
God's no. Not in public.
Not there.
Gotta go find a loo real quick.
Zorina? Then that Zorina. You know what Tal'gor smell like? Go.
Alright. So, following Zorina, who is following Tal'gor and Arten, you both will be able to eventually, just a minute or so, catch up to them. But definitely not going to be in any way stealthy because of drunk boy over
Right.
Zhonya.
Yes.
Zhonya, why was your name in the restroom?
Oh, wow.
Oh no.
Did you piss someone off so they tried to call you a bitch?
Or is the swimsuit fan art coming out?
No.
You're just a poster.
Like
You did a pinup model one time for Prismari College. They were
It
doing a
was-
calendar.
They said it was going to be tasteful.
that they basically said that it was
tasty.
it was tasteful, but why was anyway? That we will talk about that later.
Getting back to Tal'gor and Arten, Arten is still kind of seems like he's a little bleary-eyed from the whiskey, but you're able to. It's kind of impossible to trace tracks on cobblestone when literally hundreds of individuals have been through here. You catch a very faint whiff of, honestly, it smells like nothing so much as fresh drawn blood. But it fades, and it just seems to fade away like whatever was
Emomancy.
trailing that scent disappeared from, like maybe teleported away in some way. That's all you get about 100 yards from the
Because
tower.
then we were further
Oh,
on.
okay.
But as you're coming to that realization, they come up behind you.
I'm gonna relay everything to Zhonya here and tell her I saw guy, robes, silver mask, purple smoke. So I was just trying to stay on top of things, but I'm pretty sure they teleported. I don't know if you can look around and see.
Can I make an Arcana check just to use just the faintest scent of that blood trail to try to get some magical remnant
Go ahead.
possible?
Give it a go.
Okay, that's good. That's good. That is a 24.
As you're focusing in, the scent of that blood is like really faint, but like with Zarina's help, you're able to kind of get the closest point to it that you can, kind of on the street. But as you you open your senses to maybe see what any trace of the magic was left, I'm gonna need you to make me a Constitution save.
Oh, hello.
Oof.
Okay. That's not bad. That is a 19.
Okay. As you
Someone cast Blight.
feel this very strange, it almost feels like a.
That's a lot of dice.
It almost feels like a ward. That strikes out at you. Seemingly retaliating. That's gonna be. You're gonna take 11 necrotic damage
Okay.
as whatever, like, warding magic strikes at you
That's one way
as
to
you
go
try to
with
focus
kids.
on this trace.
Is it like a single energy that pops out? Do we see anything, or do they just react?
There's almost a. It's almost like a little trickle of blood
Oh, okay.
comes out of her nose.
Okay.
What the bloody... Somebody just... I don't know what this is, but we need to find out what that was. I had found about the trail, but...
I'm gonna slap Phil to try to sober him up.
You're gonna slap him?
Just
Like...
whack! Wake up!
I'm gonna allow it because I'm not gonna say Phil's AC. What? Ow!
That's like hurt him just to like.
Arten,
Yeah.
Arten, use your compass.
Okay.
So Arten's gonna pull up the compass.
Alright. The compass is still pointing in roughly the same direction as the previous two.
Okay.
So like between them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much.
So-
Like it all seems to be pretty well concentrated.
Could we follow it?
So you gotta remember that the central campus is a city of its own, and it's a 30-minute walk to get to each of the other campuses, and the...
Also, Robert and I, not in fighting shape.
That they're not up in front.
Additionally, the space between each campus is filled with some kind of wilderness, depending on which campus you're going
I
to.
gotcha.
It's not just an easy walk across a prairie. Heading between Witherbloom and Quandrix is essentially forest/swamp territory.
Okay.
So, I'm gonna say,
Then I'll just pick Phil up.
we go back to bed.
I forget you're not a gnome. I always think you're a gnome.
Okay, here's the thing. Phil's not a gnome, but he's like 5'5" and maybe 112 pounds. Like you can heft the heaviest thing on Phil is his vest of tools.
I'm gonna.
He twink.
Are you do you have a bag of holding too, don't you?
We all do.
We all
Yeah.
do.
So I'm gonna give him his own bag of holding in case he gets sick, and I'm gonna heft him over my shoulder, and we'll
Yeah.
carry him back.
That we will...
Going back to the house.
I
You ever
could walk.
Yeah.
How Marigold House?
Yeah,
I can walk. I'm not saying no, but I can walk.
I think that it would be best if then that both
You
of
just
you
drop
were
it.
up in
Yeah, I go.
more suitable shape.
No, I'm trying to set
this
you down.
time, Next
You
time.
saved my life, so I can't be a dick.
Right.
Or you could. Phil fully expects bullshit right now.
That's why I didn't steal your money, because you know when I fell
I mean,
180 feet, you were like, please don't die.
Okay. Y'all make it back to Marigold House. Who had the key?
Arten.
Arten.
Arten had the key.
So y'all get in the house, lock up behind yourselves, and I forget what the name of this maid was. I'm losing track of between.
Penny Copper, because that's what everybody went on.
What?
That's the thing that y'all went on. Like Phil was
Penny Copper?
confused. Phil was confused about putting the money in its chest, and then Arten just kept going on and on about it.
I
That's why
wrote
there's
it
the bra
down.
of holding on
'Cause
Discord right now.
The gal at the maid at the shop
Oh.
is
Marie.
Marie. This one is not Marie. What was it?
Evelyn?
Hold on, I think I may have it. I wrote up in mine.
You can make up any name now.
No,
it's
that I
fine.
have
And
it.
we will accept it. It's Karen.
God, no. It is Irina.
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 Thank you. Okay, so Irina comes out of the kitchen and takes you all in and says, "Booze and tavern, yes?
Hey.
I made things that will be good for leftovers in the morning, and goes back to the kitchen.
Might I have a bucket?
Comes back from the kitchen with like a mixing bowl, like big cookie dough mixing bowl.
Catman's gonna need one too.
Goes back to the kitchen, comes back with another one.
I would be fine. I didn't drink.
Hands over the two mixing bowls to them as needs them. Erebos is on the couch in the living area. Kind of looks over his shoulder. Had a good day.
Aye.
They had a delightful bit of spirits in them.
It's still going on too.
But
Comes out from behind the couch, says, we had a couple of visitors while y'all were out. They said that they were that Dean Tal'gor sent them, kind of to be your escorts.
Escorts?
They said they'll be back in the morning since you all were already out.
Okay, thank you.
Alright. We'll take the cat to bed. And heads upstairs with Arten.
That's fine.
Bill's just smirking. He's not gonna do anything to him. He's strong.
No,
I'll pluck you on the forehead.
But I'm just happy for them.
Good.
that's good. Just
You just looked like a little school child. You know, you were giggling.
that we will.
It's fucking adorable. How can you not giggle at that?
I missed the game and I'm drunk.
Yes, you missed the one game you were drunk.
You bought around for everybody.
And guess what? Guess what, Jed?
We all bought a round for everybody.
Except for me,
was
because I'm the
terrifying.
responsible one.
It's terrifying. The 4 barkeeps were terrified.
But you all go to bed. I am going to do a little bit of extra reading for just only a little bit. I will definitely be sure to be quick about it.
So, you all can head upstairs, you can go to bed, you can do whatever else you need to do, but we're going to take a break right quick.
Thank you.
And we will return, hopefully not too late, because we've got short timeline tonight.
Right. That tracks. Good God. Got a nosebleed.
We are back.
Alright, so we're just going to jump straight back in. It will be, I'm not doing anything overnight. It was the morning after.
Okay.
You all can come down for breakfast. Your automaton maid, Irina, has put together it's essentially a repurpose of a pot roast into kind of breakfast sandwiches.
Breakfast sandwiches?
Instead of potatoes and carrots, it's got a little bit of egg in there to throw together.
Phil will be the last one to come down and might be way later than everybody else.
I'm just gonna be like, hey, Phil! Phil!
I will actually say that this is the first time that you actually see Zhonya moving at normal speed, getting ready and stuff.
Phil inside the lantern. Why does the light make pain?
Ushel has been quietly kind of finger combing through your hair, and now she kind of snags, says, everything has a price, and pops you out of the lantern.
Yeah, that tracks. I went to bed clothed.
You might need a shower.
Why are you in my room?
I wasn't in your room.
Phil was in the lantern in a closet.
Hiding away.
No, like Phil just put the lantern in there, tried to sleep. Like he's like, let's try sleeping like they do. This sucks. And then went inside the lantern.
Yeah.
And like literally Phil, like the last thing Phil remembers, I took off one boot. But what are my clothes?
You see them on the foot locker at the end of the bed.
I folded them?
You were very drunk.
Like I'm just amazed. That looks pressed. Like
You pressed drunk.
damn, I
pressed-
actually get to be a neat freak when I'm drunk. Alright. And then just Phil starts getting dressed and slowly comes down.
What? What has been the temperature like for Strixhaven?
So it's a pretty. That's a very good question. Over toward Quandrix, it was a little more of like the temperate, like springtime environment, bordering on summer maybe. But here in Central Campus, it's a little more arid. It's almost bordering on desert. Out on the west side, it's very, very desert. There's Red Rock Mountains for both Lorehold and Prismari. North in Silver Quill, it's a little more humid, but not bad humid. It's like just kind of cloudy most of the time. Just the way the mountains channel the weather. Y'all haven't been down to Witherbloom or that area yet, but Witherbloom is a bayou. Okay,
so it's just not cold, all humid or arid.
Right. We go run into Professor Ogeron.
So
we're all here to learn about magic.
So that she basically just comes down, and then she actually has her sleeves kind of like rolled up, up on to just the elbows, and just like, well, I guess that I didn't need my giant overcoat whenever I went to Drell. So it's just in the bag of holdings. But good morrow.
Morning.
Good morrow, Arten.
Do y'all want to try to see if we can explore a little bit to find the shards?
Should we figure out where the thing is before we go to the bookstore, or should we do that after we go to the bookstore?
But aren't we supposed to have guests coming in the morning?
What?
But that's what Erebos said.
Oh yeah, we do have people coming. Eat up. I mean, then that, and just gonna be like, Irina, can I have a gnomish waffle?
She moves to the waffle, like pulls the waffle iron from the back side of the counter and starts making.
Please tell me there are 4 tiny waffles that are slightly connected.
I would like a German muffin.
A German what?
Muffin.
What makes it German? What makes the German muffin different?
It's just from Parks and Rec. And they go, the reaction to it, we have German muffins. They're like, what the fuck is a German muffin?
So literally what I just did.
Yes, pretty much.
Fuck you.
Phil's just gotta be sitting there eating that breakfast and go, alright, I need a glass with a raw egg.
Irina doesn't even question it. She goes,
an ounce of Worcestershire sauce, an ounce of hot sauce, and an ounce of whiskey.
As you go down the list, she stops with an egg in hand, like the glass, and there's a pause. You can hear like gears whirring, and then Worcestershire, spiced, and turns to the cabinet and basically starts pulling vinegar and soy sauce and a bunch of other things to make Worcestershire because she doesn't have Worcestershire in the cabinet.
This is called a prairie oyster. He'll take care of some shit. Trust me.
But eventually brings you all the everything you asked for, including a little shot glass of Worcestershire.
Phil's just gonna crack the egg, keeping the white, and drop the yolk in. Worcestershire, hot sauce, whiskey.
Lord help you.
You are going to need a little bit more of prestidigitation after whatever comes out.
No, it's just so terrible. It sobers you up. It hurts more than this hurts.
I mean,
and now I'm just gonna eat this fucking sandwich.
Your waffles are ready.
All right. Eat the waffle and just put the roast on top of the waffle.
All right then. Y'all do you.
You should get a second one.
No.
Phil, do give me a little bit of a perception check real quick.
That tracks. 8.
Okay. You kind of, now that you're a little more sober and you're taking a bit of deeper breaths, you can smell a rather pleasant herbal scent coming off of your clothes. And it doesn't smell familiar. It's a bit almost like spring fields, like wildflower smell.
You go and look at the robot. Did you wash my clothes?
She kind of turns around. The room was empty. and goes back to cleaning up dishes.
I slept in the closet. It seemed like a good idea. Drunk me's an ass.
Did you pee in there?
I know that you're telling me.
No, I peed in the bowl. Oh God, the bowl! And Phil's like gets up and starts going back upstairs.
You don't see the bowl in the room.
Oh God, I feel so bad. Oh. Phil's just gonna come back downstairs
You come back down.
sheepishly.
You barely remember like the enamel pattern on the bowl. It's already washed and like in the drain board.
Phil's just gonna sit back down, deep purple across the face.
While all of that's happening, there's a knock at the door.
I would go get it.
Okay.
All right. So you open. Are you just opening the door, or are you peeking through the little...
Going to peep through the peephole first.
Right up against the door, kind of like trying to see through the hole, is a kind of an olive, dusky-skinned, high cheekbones, bright green eyes, and you can see like a stray flyaway like curl of red hair, kind of fluttering in front of the face, and you vaguely hear a voice. Kind of the words seem to dampen sound a little bit too. You vaguely hear a hello. We spoke yesterday. Hello.
We spoke yesterday?
That's a different voice. Is that a different voice? That's a different voice. That's not the tiefling. Hello?
Yes, opens up the door. Who is it?
Hi, we're the escorts. There are 5 individuals, kind of arrayed on the stoop. The one who is closest to the door appears to be Elvin. She is wearing red and blue robes. There is a prominent ring on the forefinger of her left hand. Has a very large black stone embedded in the top of it. Her hair is kind of, it almost seems like it's moving in its own breeze. Now that you're open the door, you realize there's not really a breeze this morning. Immediately kind of behind her is what is obviously a drow, with what looks like an axe and a shield strapped to his back. Standing behind him is a very tall black dragonborn, wearing a long robe that is kind of a very muted, like cream color with like a muted maroon with it. You recognize it as like almost lore hold, but like a different style. The drow is wearing black and greens for Witherbloom. Standing next to the Dragonborn is what seems like maybe another drow, but there's a streak of bright red in his hair, and most of his hair is actually not quite a full white or silver. It's almost like a salt and pepper black and gray situation. This other drow is also carrying like an armload of books and papers, and wearing blacks and silvers. And behind all 4 of them, towering over them, is a 7-foot tall individual with kind of a flat nose, gray eyes, kind of wavy, thick, almost like a mane of hair, and carrying a single staff with crossed swords over his back. Okay. And wearing blues and greens.
So, just the layout of the house, went to the door, I'm assuming that's not in the dining room.
So we'll say like it's almost like a front door, there's like a foyer, living areas directly across from that. So like den, and then kitchen and dining area off to the left, stairs going upstairs on the right.
Do we hear all this noise, especially like the kind of high-pitched hyper one?
Yes.
Phil is going to stand up with a sandwich, go over to the window, open it.
Okay.
And just step out as they're coming in.
Why are you going out of the house when they're coming in?
Because that was way too chipper and happy this morning for Phil. Phil's like, oh, this
As he tries to
shit,
do
I'm
that,
out.
pull him back in.
Stop, fuck, come on. No.
And then you just hear a message up in your head, just like, please be on your best behavior.
I am. And it's outside, away from them.
Are you letting him go, or are we contesting strength?
Let's contest some strength.
This is gonna go fantastic. That tracks.
18.
13. Phil's in. No, shit.
You got him doing the little puppy paddle.
The legs are kicking as he's pulled back in the window. There's a neighbor that's watching.
Oh, we've already had breakfast. Oh, and kind of turns around and reaches. Apparently, the drow behind her was carrying like a couple of carry handles full of coffee. And turns around with. Oh, we brought coffee.
Strix bucks.
Yes.
Do you drag Phil all the way in?
Yeah.
The second you let go, Phil is going right back for that window.
I'm gonna just put an arm around you.
I don't know that they are still recovering from like last night's shenanigery.
The Dragonborn kind of looks over there, turns back and says, "One of your companions is trying to leave through the window hedge."
That
Trust
you
me,
just
this one has
see
an handle.
basically just like little just bits of that the steam is now like sparks of flames.
My dad acts like that.
I will deal with them later. I do apologize, and that they
You're a
had rough
hothead.
night. Sometimes.
I'm sorry, you're ambassadors. I shouldn't be disrespectful, I'm sorry.
No,
Phil wants
it
to
is
know
fine.
that's racist so bad.
It is fine that it is part of his culture. But anyway,
We don't use doors.
that you can always hear them just go like, close the door, close the door, close the door.
What's your inspiration bank?
I think it's a 9 right now.
Okay.
It's okay. I don't need it right now.
That was good though. That was beautiful.
But what are your names?
Oh, I'm Sana.
Zhonya?
And points to the drow with the axe and the shield. That's Watcher. He's actually Curelove, but and he kind of like pops her on the back of the shoulder and says, "Stop it." He's Watcher.
Okay.
The other one that looks like him, but with the floof in his hair, that's Kai.
Kai?
And the big guy in the back is Glenn. And then the Dragonborn kind of right on the heels of that says, "I'm Daz."
Alright. Pleased to meet you all.
So, are you still standing in the doorway?
I had kind of like let them in.
Alright, so they all come in. Glenn really has to duck to get in here.
You're tall. Cause Zonya's like 5'2".
I won't break anything.
We don't own the place, that's fine.
Did you pay? Wait, is that a deposit?
Yeah, you paid it.
Yeah, we paid it.
I didn't pay a deposit.
You paid it.
I
You
did
said,
not.
guys, I got the deposit.
So what?
No,
so
that's
then y'all
bullshit.
We used the party fund, remember?
Her eyes are just flickering at all three of y'all, just like,
Fuck.
we have. She is going to say up in Elven to you, we have guests, and if that you do not want your ass on fire, I suggest you be on your best behavior.
Oh, she's
And
feisty.
And then gonna say, pretty sure that they actually speak Elvish as well.
Elf.
I'm gonna say
Space elf.
in Draconic. I'm just gonna say.
You're so pretty.
Thank you. Like the whole time, still eating a sandwich while in a headlock by Tal'gor. I'm assuming on tiptoes.
Yeah.
No, I mean I got you like under the chest. I'm not choking you out.
Okay, I thought that like when you did this, because I'm down with Phil. You'd be like,
I don't want you to be uncomfortable.
I love your eyes. They're doing really weird things.
yeah, I know that's new.
Hi.
Hi.
Mistress Talonrook sent us to be your escorts in case you needed to go places and you didn't know where to go. I don't know how that be since there's a map right there, but you know what you know.
Y'all are sent here to make sure we don't burn shit.
We could.
I mean, I can't really speak for that. I'll burn shit in a minute, but
Noted.
You want to ask?
it's more a matter of, You might
That's
need
what we're here
help, she
for.
said.
So-
Finding
Right.
something? You were looking for something?
Yes, we were looking for, still probably being held by Tal'gor.
Oh yeah.
Headlight fluid.
All right, listen to him. He's an idiot. I'm gonna say, Arten, will you pull out the compass?
Okay.
This item leads to wherever we want to go. And I assume it's like the same general direction as before. Okay.
Okay, so we have new charges for that today
Yes.
because we slept.
Yes,
So
okay.
that's 1. Should we put a little number by it? So we don't forget.
Okay.
Holy Moses.
Top top. So
It was a toilet
We-
seat.
Yeah, I know.
It was
I don't know
very
if
loud.
anybody wants
My
to do anything-
bathroom's on the other side of the wall behind you.
Very loud.
I don't know if y'all want to do anything before we go anywhere, but I think we should go ahead and try to accomplish what we were saying.
Set the mission, hit the gift shop on the way out. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Zhonya,
Are you gonna let go?
I'm
We're
actually
going
strapped you in the
shopping.
back.
We could
I'm just
go
kidding. I'll put you down. I just put you down.
that we were going to do a bit of morning shopping, and then I think we should introduce ourselves. You first.
My name is Indigo Montoya.
I thump him on the head.
My name is Phil.
I knew an Indigo Montrosa one time.
You didn't happen to kill his father.
His name is
No.
Fil'verl.
My name's Phil.
Cool. I'm Xana.
That's Watcher, that's Kai, that's Glenn, and that's Daz.
Points at Watcher. You look like you've been in the military.
No. Kind of maybe wanna be. But I
Right.
hadn't made it there yet. Depends
Right.
on where I'm gonna go.
Right. Just have that air.
Well, I get that a lot. It's the axe and the shield.
Hold on.
I'm
Have Erebos
Tal'gor.
and Arten come down yet?
Yeah, they've been
Okay.
like this.
Everybody's been there.
I'm sorry, I've got 7 NPCs running now, so
We pulled
forgive
the
me.
compass out.
That's true. I'm just like all of a sudden just get shoved from the second floor.
No. I'm Tal'gor the Terrific.
You are quite terrific. Where are you from? Are you from the coast?
Yep.
Focus
Not
more
this
on the
coast.
terror.
A coast.
A coast. Do you swim?
I swim very well. I can hold my breath for 15 minutes. You want to see?
We should go swimming sometime.
Let's go right now.
No, it's a long hike.
We get
And
along.
we're technically, we're getting credits for this, so we should probably do this.
So you're not real wizards? I'm just joking.
Phil all of a sudden is now interested in the conversation.
I mean,
I can't cast spells, so you can already cast more than me.
I'm a wizard. He does things. He talks to ghosts, I think.
I mean, everybody does things.
Pointing at Kai. Daz is always looking for trinkets. She says she wants to open up and Daz kind of like bops her on the back of the head. Stop it. She says she wants to open up a shop. Gets bopped again, doesn't seem to care. The big guy, he likes doing things with he makes plants grow. And he can also split himself into 2. It's really cool. I think he's an amoeba.
An amoeba.
My uncle was an amoeba.
Just
Which one is she pointing at?
Glenn,
Glenn.
The
the big
one.
guy.
and then that to round off that Arten Dawnwatcher, that he is still a bit feeling the ramifications of his actions last night, so that he's not speaking right now.
Daz kind of crosses her arms, and now that they're all kind of spread out, like in this dining room space, you can see that Daz's left leg has been. She's got a prosthetic below the knee. It's one of the curved metal pieces. And she kind of crosses her arms and looks at Arten and says, "You look a lot like one of the statues."
Don't get him started. Don't get him started.
And of course, Arten
Yeah.
starts fangirling again about a Johnny. But,
30 minutes later.
30 minutes later.
Yes, and then that I am Zhonya Embersong.
Another Z! Wait, mine's an X. It sounds like a Z though.
Professor Embersong.
pulls out like a set of flashcards and starts flipping.
Professor Ambassador.
We are
Embersong.
not trying to privy the first part to them.
I'm sorry, I've been having to deal with Arten. I had to give him 5 titles yesterday just to keep him happy.
Which college?
Quandrix.
At this point, Glenn says, I've never seen you for classes. And Xana's still flipping. Okay, I've gone through the entire Quandrix faculty and you're not in there. That's a little weird. Did Tal'gor say anything about this?
She did some really awesome secret magic stuff, saved somebody, then they sold her house and everybody thought she was dead.
Okay.
No, I'm just saying, this one over here is a genuine hero.
At this point, Xana's just like, and then she like dives for Zarina because she's just realized there's a dog.
She has a puppy too.
And just like, pretty puppy! So that's happening.
Look, I just made that one incredibly happy.
So,
It's part of my mission to preach the gospel of happiness.
you kind of hear from Ushel in your mind.
I mean,
The whole, the click is way too loud.
anyway, since that you are going to be our escorts in a sense, that how many of you are familiar with Zhonya?
They all kind of look at each other. Is that a person?
Joy.
Just that the anime teardrop is just.
Hold on. I can explain it best.
Go ahead.
It's another world. We have been there, handling some business. We're finding part of one of their gods. It somehow got sent here. There's a whole dramatic god backstory, which is normal, because 90% of gods have a dramatic backstory. And we're just here to find that, and then get some shit from your bookstore and go. Because there's a really magical, awesome quill that I have to have. And I've been told it comes in green.
All of them pull out a quill from various places on their person with the little glass
Fucking
bottles.
everybody has this shit and I've never seen it before. God damn.
I have wrote in this millions of times.
You think you're paying attention to your writing in your book? That seems like that'd be rude, like I'm trying to overwatch you do in your journal.
Don't be a dick.
I'm not. I'm just trying to say I'm not trying to watch what people write down.
Perception checks running around, just for my own wonderings.
Ow. 22.
14.
12.
Okay.
Oh no, wait, 18.
All right.
But that was a 16.
Phil, while you were explaining about that you're looking for a piece of a god of Israel, one of Kai's eyes twitched just a little bit. But it was such a micro expression that it was like there and gone.
Can I do insight real quick to see if I might know what that twitch might mean?
Sure.
Like, maybe he has a really asshole geology professor. 21.
It seems like it was maybe more of a fidget, like a tell.
And
But-
this was Kai,
The drow with the red streak,
with the red streak.
who has slightly darker hair anyway. It's not pure white or silver. I have pictures, but I'll show them later.
Okay.
Where'd my music go? Oh.
Phil's gonna give a quick look to Zhonya.
As Xana's still scruffling Zarina's ear.
Just Phil is continuing the I am just kind of a morning asshole, and look at Zarina. Can you believe these assholes?
What about them?
I don't
Are y'all
know.
talking in your minds, or?
I can't speak in my mind. Just can you believe these assholes coming in this loud? Sorry, that's me being. I'm sorry. I'm still hungover from last night. I apologize.
Watcher's kind of, his eyes are getting narrow. Daz is just kind of like, well, fuck you too. Glenn doesn't seem to be paying attention. He's staring at a butterfly out the window.
Alright.
But as Phil's saying, can you believe these assholes?
Okay.
looks at Kai real quick.
Oh,
So Daz is gonna be like, we're ready to go whenever you all are. We're getting out of classes for this, so I mean, take as long as you want, honestly.
But, like, how
I
many
mean,
classes do you
that's
actually have
fine.
here?
That you know that that's
Every day.
fine. That could
A
that
day? How long are they?
3
3
hours.
hours?
I
It's a
mean,
lot. You gotta learn.
that.
God, you can't even get a job. Alright.
I mean, then that.
I mean, that's just me. I know that one down and pointing at Xana. That one's only taken 2, but then she's got all this project work time. And Xana just looks up at her and says, I will be able to make ice burn, I swear it.
Yeah, you had kerosene.
No, I want it to burn on its own. I'm gonna make it spontaneously combust. It's gonna be incredible.
You want to make ice spontaneously combust
Yes.
and burn.
These
Yes.
things usually
I
work
mean,
themselves.
but have you tried basically bringing it
And have
down
a
to
neighborhood?
negative
That's not my problem.
800 degrees Fahrenheit?
Just, I mean,
I'm getting
just
there.
saying.
It's still, a work in progress.
It is a process, but
Yeah.
Kai, that unfortunately that how to word this, that Phil was saying something. Is it something that you would like to share to the class?
There's a class? But we're out of class for the day.
That it is an
Well, that's what's a
expression.
professor, so technically you're still
It
in.
is an
But
expression.
she's not in Xana's flashcards of all the current professors, so I respect no authority there.
Well, you were told to lead us around, not to be part of it.
Yeah, well, we'll
Hey, look, maybe it's just me
Let's
still being fuzzy from last night. Look, I'm in the best of days, I'm a bit of a bar.
Yeah, that is true.
Also, I'm going to need your help a little bit. These two, way too tall. You're only a couple inches shorter than me, so that the gate won't be as much. Alright?
Okay.
What?
If I tried to walk with you helping me,
Oh,
you are like a half a me taller. I am going to be speed walking / jogging
I'm
with you.
gonna like hoist you on my shoulder.
No.
Well, then we can go to the bookstore to just basically cool down all of the flaming tension around him.
Xana jumps up and starts skipping out the door like, alright, let's go!
Alright, that one is way too parky.
No, that's just the right kind of perky.
No, that is way too parky.
Watcher just kind of says, she's a ladder and they're all like that.
I mean,
That's racist.
no, that
Well,
you
they
know
are all
that,
like that, except the winter ones. They're pretty chill.
that they have pretty.
Ba-bum-bum.
But yes, I think that going to the bookstore so you can get you a portable quill.
Yes, I will get the quote that everybody thinks is so fucking mundane.
It is mundane.
As you're all heading out, who has the house key?
I will say Arten.
Okay.
Feels like everybody talked about this being so much. I'm going to get one that has 4 colors that you click the sides on.
Oh my god.
I remember being a kid and those being dope.
I
Oh
still
my god, I
got
never
one of
even
those.
thought of that.
Phil's gonna wait and grab Zonya's shoulder
Okay.
Yes.
and let.
Glenn is still Glenn's gonna be bringing up the rear, so he's standing behind y'all as y'all are pausing on the walk.
Oh,
Oh no, Phil's gonna. Alright. Yeah, you're totally here for class. You're here to make sure we don't break shit.
I just like walking in the back. It's easier to make sure I don't step on someone.
Alright, I'm just an ass. And Phil's gonna whisper, don't say anything out loud like that again. I just don't trust that when he twitched when I said heart of a god. He might be connected to Purple Sticky Punch Man. Mask. Purple Sticky Mask.
noted.
Nah.
You know that it'll be easier because I'm not much of a talker. I ain't got the brains, but I don't have the charismatic attitude of you.
Just while we're in the bookstore, is the bookstore big?
Daz will be kind of walking the next closest to y'all. She'll turn around and, like, walking backwards, will say, "It's not huge, but it's big enough for what it needs to do. They're always getting in fresh stock, so..."
Yeah, I gotta ask, because I've only seen one other university ever, and their bookstore was like, the aisles were like this wide.
No, there's space. I mean, we've got, the giants that roam around too, so,
Alright, fine. I just wanted to make sure it wouldn't be like there'd be a tight squeeze or anything.
No, it'll be fine. Don't worry about it that way. It's fine.
I'm gonna whisper.
I worked there first year. It's fine.
Alright, let me or Tal'gor deal with that one then. I would say Arten, but...
But Arten's, that he just need that. Oh, what is that thing that it is called? It is a fairy drink that they put in like lime and lemon into it, and then it was fizzy.
Sprite.
Sarah Nest?
Nobody drinks that bullshit.
Oh my god.
I mean that Sierra Mist, that must have been some just drink that a deep gnome made. Nobody drinks that.
But, yeah, just...
I will let you deal with that.
I'll needle him. I just need somebody to needle him if he gets upset about me needling him.
I mean that, to be fair, that you are quite dodgy about your own situation, but I choose not to pry.
No. Someone's judging my religion because of the size of my holy symbol doesn't meet their standard.
I won't judge you by the size of your holy symbol.
All right.
Anyway,
So
to the bookstore.
The bookstore is actually located kind of around the corner from Bozen Tavern.
Is the tavern okay?
The tavern is okay. It is definitely, it seems like they're between breakfast and lunch at the moment. You can see a couple of individuals that resemble the big guy Glenn. If you want, you can make a nature check or a history check to see if you know this type of person.
No, that's a natural 1.
15.
Okay.
I'm not gonna roll.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I was sitting there doing that.
I was like, Firbolg. They are Firbolg. But there's
Best
a couple.
folk. Best folk.
The Firbolg workers are kind of sweeping up and seem to be just kind of getting ready for lunch. But other than that, it seems like most everybody's either out in class or otherwise running around errands. The bookstore itself is actually really quiet also this time of day. Seems like the morning rush for restock is, supplies is over. And so the front doors are open, but as you all step through, there's a little bit of a bell jingle, even though there's no visible tripwire or anything. And you hear a general chorus of, "Hello, welcome to the bookstore," kind of through the stacks, and toward the front you can see like a counter with cash boxes and things.
Gotta find the quill, and I gotta find a tunic. Which house would I be?
Probably either. I would probably say either Prismari or else.
Go on, Prismari sounds colorful. Matches the jacket.
Xana literally almost comes out of like nowhere. It's almost like she teleports beside you and like grabs your arm and says, "It's the best," and like drags you over to.
I didn't know where this was.
and drags you over to a rack that has full robes, actual just like shirt tunics. There's also boots with like the cuffs are like a shimmery, glittery fur in red and blue. There's also scarves and like bucket hats.
Bucket hats.
I'm just gonna go ahead and get scarf. My jacket's already nice. Scarf.
She pulls one off the rack, puts it around your neck, and swings it around, and it just kind of like it keeps going and like wraps all the way around your head.
Tal'gor, help! Tal'gor, help!
What was their schools, by the way?
Okay, so Xana is wearing the red and blue of Prismari.
Okay.
Watcher is wearing the Witherbloom green and black.
Okay.
Glenn is wearing the green and blue quandrix.
Okay.
Daz is wearing Lorehold's red and white, though hers is more of a like dusty cream and maroon. And Kai is wearing the black and white of Silverquill.
Okay.
The
Thank you.
black is more prominent on his robes.
Okay, that is all I needed to know.
I'm
Because
gonna get a robe from Lorehold. That's the red and cream. That's the maroon and cream.
You're gonna get a what though?
A robe
Okay, all right, cool.
and
cool.
a wizard hat.
They have more of like more like a beret, like hers, but a little more slouchy.
Okay. I'm just
Graduate
gonna.
school hat.
There's also fedoras.
Wait, is it actually a fedora or is it a trilby that's pretending?
What's a trilby?
Okay, trilbies are 9% of the time someone says they have a fedora, it's actually a trilby. It's the little short brim that curls up in the back.
No, it's an Indiana Jones fedora.
Thank you.
With red and white, like a circle of red and white, like spiral on the front.
Sorry.
Okay,
fucking
I'll get
hipsters are on that.
the fedora and I'll use the robe as a cape.
Nice, beautiful.
gonna go just to the quandary section, just like remembering all of this. Memorabilia. Yeah, that's the word.
Glenn kind of follows you over. He almost moves in slow motion, like he's very, very careful and cautious with his body. He follows you over and pulls it's like a ball cap. Honestly, it says, "We have a mage tower team now."
Mage tower team? Interesting. Are they, you own it?
No, I'm too slow.
Glenn reminds me of the aliens from Mass Effect that speak like that, and they gotta explain their emotions.
I mean I guess that whenever that I was a student for Quandrix, that we had one of the best mage towers ever.
We haven't had one for 3 years.
It's time to change that. That's something else that's going to be changed.
My friend Bill is. And just kind of like gestures into space. There's nobody there.
All right, Bill. That I also have to ask. Is that there's a student still named Calvin around?
Calvin.
Very bad. He always gets into trouble.
I don't get with troublemakers.
He's a real scamp.
Except Ksana, and she kind of pipes up from over with Phil. Hey! I'm not a troublemaker! I just like causing fun.
You should go argue that with him to make sure he really understands the point.
She is just going to try to get that
Skips away.
She is just going to get that the closest thing to like a Leatherman jacket of Quandrix it is there.
So it'll honestly be more of like a sport coat with like the elbow patches, you know, nerddom with ball caps.
That's fine.
Because they're nerds.
That's fine.
Okay.
Where is Kai?
Kai is currently over at the checkout counter, chatting up seems to be an Air Genasi individual.
Does it look like it's just normal chatting, or is it?
He's definitely flirting. Kai is flirting the hardest.
Phil walks up with takes the scarf off because it's over by the cash boxes, right?
Let me go ahead and describe a little, like y'all went directly for clothes, but there's more stuff in the bookstore. There is a whole shelf along one wall filled with what is labeled to be primers for each of the various schools. They're essentially like first level spell books. There is a spinny rack that has 5 shelves. Each shelf has plushies, little stuffies of each of the mascots. So you see some of like different shapes of the statues, like you saw in the Lorehold main entryway. They have like embroidered lines of like red and white to like indicate the like spirit holding the statue together. There are what look like little black ghosts with white eyes. These are the inklings for Silverquill. There are what look to be deer made of some ethereal swirls of blue and red. These are the elemental mascots for Prismari. Brain words. I'm forgetting the others. Curses. There are little snakes made of what look like overlapping polyhedrons in blues and greens. These are fractals for quadrants, and which one am I forgetting? There's what looks like a little caterpillar with a circular mouth on like the front of its face that has like 3 rows of sharp teeth. It's purple, it's green, and that's a witherbloom pest. Okay. You find the pens as well. They do come with like little metal rings in each of the school color combinations. There's also some that are just plain like a wood barrel in like oak, mahogany, etc. There's also
definitely get that mahogany.
There's also a rack of thermoses near the registers. They have a bright sign on them that says "Bottle of Boundless Coffee." Okay. So price tags for the cuddlies, the mascots are 100. The bottle of Boundless Coffee is 100 gold. The clothing is going to be each item of clothing is 10 gold.
Okay, so I'm getting a plushie, and I put the coffee back. When I hear the coffee, it's like, I don't like it that much. I can't fuck with Arten enough with that.
Alright, so you were coming up to interfere with Kai's flirting or something. What's going to happen?
So I was just going to put the scarf, the plushie, and 2 of the quills down. So what's that?
Oh, sorry, the quills are going to be 25 gold a pop.
So that's 150, 160.
I believe so, yes.
See, 50, plushie 100, 150. Yeah.
Okay. Phil's going to put that down and pay. Like, just put it down. Before Phil does anything, does the Air Ganassi seem receptive to Kai's?
Yes.
Fucking stuff up for Kai's one thing, but fucking it up for the other person that seems to be reciprocating is an ass move. And I'm all about happiness.
But as you come up and start, it does seem like the Air Ganassi is kind of, extracting themselves so they can come over and catch you out, ring things up and everything. Kai's now staring at you.
Just smiles. Sorry, had to check out.
That's fine, that's a job.
Alright.
Did you need something from me too?
Oh, if I can just step outside with you real quick and ask you a couple questions.
Sure. I don't mind. That's all I'm here for. And heads to the door.
Step outside. So, are you into geology?
No.
So why'd you twitch when I mentioned a stone?
You didn't mention stones, you mentioned gods.
Yeah, God's heart. Stone.
You mentioned you were looking for an artifact of a god.
Yeah, and you twitched.
I don't like messing with gods.
Why?
I don't like messing with gods, they get in things.
Insight.
Go ahead.
21.
Truth, but maybe not the whole truth.
Don't be quiet.
That's my entire job, dear.
No. Your job is to escort us, and right now it's sus. I already know y'all are here to make sure we don't fuck shit up too much.
No, I'm here to learn about magic and, fix things. So.
Cut the shit.
No, it's not shit, it's the truth.
No. It's mostly the truth, which is the worst kind. So, tell the whole truth, or you're off the job and I'm fine with you failing your fucking classes.
I don't like messing with gods.
The whole truth.
I don't like messing with gods because people mess with gods and I got hurt.
So someone messed with a god and you got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
You don't happen to know where there's a shard of a god, do you?
Nope.
$17.
Seems to be truthful. There may be more to it, but the nope is truthful.
Go back to fucking class. And Phil's gonna walk back in the building to see where his friends are.
What's your passive perception again?
13. It's not great.
As you turn away, make me an Arcana check, actually. Let's try it that way.
18.
As you turn to go back in the building, you feel a bit of almost like a twist in the just general atmosphere of magic. Seems to be either emanating from Kai or around Kai. And Kai says, I don't know where it is. I may know someone who may have had it.
Oh, that's useful. Look who's going to be on honor roll. Unless you're full of shit.
I said I may know someone who may have had
Name.
it. I never knew his name.
Describe.
Wore a mask, shed purple light.
Did he have a whip?
Mm-hmm. And a sword. And some
Yeah.
chains, all made of his own damn blood.
God, this place is fucking weird.
Now, to be fair, I'm not the only person who's met someone like that.
No, I've met at least one other. And nobody seems like, oh, let's tell the professors there's a creepy fuck walking around with chains and a whip.
No, we've told the professors.
Oh.
I told Dean Tal'gor directly. I told Dean Liu as well. And they can't track him.
Fun.
So I may know someone who may have had one, or may have known someone who may have had
And
one,
it's a purple, smoky masked man with a whip and blood chains.
who can disappear and can't be tracked by magic. Yeah. And I don't like messing with things that deal with gods.
Why's that so hard?
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
Anyway, go back in there and go back to flirting. You were doing a pretty decent job.
Don't feel like it now.
Oh.
So, guess you got what you wanted out of it.
No, I didn't want to fuck that up. I just wanted the information. And Phil goes back inside.
Kai's going to be sitting on a bench outside.
Gonna make my way to Zhonya. Alright.
Oh, this is a pretty... Yes, Phil?
Kai's a dick.
Yeah, so are you sometimes.
Yeah, I kind of fucked up his personal same noun. No, I don't feel bad about that because now it's his choice not to pursue. I just went up there and dropped my stuff off to buy, and now he thinks I'm cock blocking him. What a dick. Anyway, he saw the masked figure as well and says it can't be tracked by magic.
Xana
Interesting.
raises
Where
up,
the fuck did you come from?
raises up from a stack of like books, like behind a stack of books on the floor. Kai saw a purple guy too.
Wait, you saw...
Yeah, back when I first got to Strixhaven.
Wait, so did that all five of you see it?
Glenn goes, no. Dawes says, yeah, I thought he was a dick.
So,
And Watcher says, last week.
What the...
settle down, let me go
She's
check
just
out.
magically appeared behind a stack of books.
I was looking at
that's-
this one on the bottom. I might need that one, but I don't have the money for it right now, so I'll have to get it later.
How much is it?
What?
How much is
How
the
much
book?
is it?
300 gold.
Yeah, you don't have enough for it right now.
Yeah, I know.
You don't have enough for it right now, but anyway.
Wait, does this put wizards in debt for centuries going to school here?
I mean
No.
that...
You gotta take out loans.
I think that I might have paid mine off up in 3 months thanks
I mean,
to time magic.
my dad sent a bunch of, but for the essentials, and that's not really an essential because I don't need that one yet.
But
So,
But yeah, Kai saw it.
we will talk about this up in a more privity area.
you want hedges? Privet? Hedges?
private. But let me check out. And just gonna be going up and just like, here is the items that just an article of clothing, and then that she had also grabbed 2 stopwatches or clock, or like
there are pocket watches.
that
as well.
2 pocket
I nearly
watches.
forgot about those. Yeah. The pocket watches will be 50 gold. Each.
All right, so 50 gold. Clothes is
10.
10. Yeah, so I just wanted the jacket, so then that's 110, and
I have a fedora on.
then
You're
that,
stylish.
and then that,
Is there anything in here a barbarian would
and then
be?
that just like one of those portable quills,
Okay. So the quills were
25.
25.
So then that's 135.
Okay. There is a rack of weapons.
Okay.
All of them are essentially they're what in particular are you looking for?
I mean, just like something for buff, like a buff as a barbarian, maybe something for like armor class or bump a stat.
So all they have really is +1 weapons, not really.
I got you.
There are +1 shields, but I don't think you
I have
really
a
run with
grade.
shields. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a grade. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna buy a journal and a pen.
Okay. A journal, but not like not a
magical.
primer. Okay.
Well, I can't use a primer, can I?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Okay, so a journal and a pen is actually on sale. Buy the pen, get a journal free.
Okay.
If you want it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, I get a free journal? Okay.
So that way
Phil said that I fucking missed that. Oh well.
you can retroactively.
No, that's not smooth.
That's what 30.
The Air Genasi, after remembering, oh yeah, that's a thing, is going to give Tal'gor one to make sure that you get.
But I don't give it to
That's fine.
you. No, I give it to you. But I do draw you in it. Tastefully.
My head's very large and my body is a stick figure. This is fair. This is fair.
And pocket watches. She just gonna like look through her own notes and just like, okay, that one of these were basically a one-time use to give to somebody for something about time stop. Interesting.
All right. Is there anything else before we wrap up this session? Okay. So we will pick back up next week. Hopefully we will have Jed for Arten at the table again. And just so we're all clear, y'all wanted to go directly from the bookstore and try to track down where the compass is leading?
Yes.
Yeah. Head that way.
And maybe figure out some more about these purple mask guys.
Correct.
They can't be tracked by magic.
They can be tracked by. Well, you know that. I don't know that.
No,
Before-
Phil said that when she stood up and made him scream. Was there a shush that came at Phil when he jumped and screamed?
No, this is a bookstore, not a library.
Damn.
Before we go, this is the purple mask guys.
Okay.
Okay.
You literally can't see any of their faces once their mask is on. But they do trail the purple light, purple smoke.
Here, I was hoping it was a Mardi Gras mask that just shot purple light out.
Oh God.
All right. Well, thanks for watching. Thanks for playing. I don't have anything aside from the usual.
Just want to thank our 3 new followers. We had basically got Jed from State Farm. Hi Jed. Jackie Anderson, and then we had got Sue, and then we had got Supreme Nindaka.
Supreme Idinak.
And then thank you guys so much for your support. That is really going to be great. And then that basically that there will be a 100 follower giveaway next weekend for our charity game.
Right, that'll be sometime. I don't know what day. We gotta clarify that because I think Claire's setting up the widget.
Yes.
I'll be hosting it because I spent too much time making.
Cute things.
Thanks.
No, I spent too much time actually doing the layout to be like, this is kind of what I just made exactly what I wanted. So that'll be set up. That'll be the 13th to the 15th, so that's next weekend. All proceeds from donations will go to, and I forget the name of the charity, but the goal is to get children out of the Ukraine and to St. Jude's for cancer treatment because they are having issues getting proper treatment and power and etc. because of Russia's completely illegitimate attack on them. We will have Ties That Bind this weekend, and we should have Holy Winds next Monday because everybody's schedules will have opened back up. Last Monday we had to take it off because of real life and puppy going to the hospital. So that's what we got. Our socials are, if you see the Hydra, it's us at YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Linktree. It is Team Bonus Action at Team Bonus Action.
You forgot the underscore. Bonus.
That's on. That's on the other
that's
one.
right.
That's on Instagram. We also on Instagram we're still Team Bonus Action. On Twitter we are at bonus_team.
Yay.
I don't understand how the social media works. That's why other people.
Somebody else had the name already.
Yeah, sure. I don't know how social
And I'm
media
on.
works.
I am Nate Paints Warhammer on Instagram. I have been updating pretty regularly.
I'm Neysa Does Cosplay. I'm not that active. My apologies. I'm on Twitch.
Ditto. That you can find me at Ninja Spence 21 or AA across all social medias. That we're doing that. The Instagram is somewhat turning from like just a normal day-to-day life stuff, but on streams that you will see me do like D&D art, playing stuff like Super Mario Maker, Elden Ring probably, and then I may be starting up Tunic pretty soon. It is not a goat.
It's a goat.
It is not a goat.
I'm a goat.
Did we mention that Into the Woods may be wrapping up this Sunday?
No,
I don't know if it's wrapping up this Sunday, but we're in the home stretch.
We are in the home stretch.
I don't see how it's going to end up going more than this Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, Into the Woods,
We
man.
get worse.
We
get
fucked
worse.
shit up.
Yeah.
That happened.
So,
But
yeah.
thank you guys so much for watching. It really means a lot. We are just having fun with this. And since that Nox isn't here,
Don't let your meat loaf.
good night, everybody. Thank you for watching. Comment, like, subscribe.
Ring the bell. Hit that notification button.